Welcome to the Heroes and Hype podcast, where we talk the latest comic book, movies, and TV shows. I'm your host, Nick. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Anthony.
Hi.
And this week, we are all hyped up for the season finale of Daredevil Born Again and the season premiere of The Last of Us Season 2. How long has it been since we did two reviews in one episode?
It's been a while.
It's been ages.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced we've got the stamina for it, but
We shall see.
we'll have a go. We might just pack in halfway through The Last of Us, but yeah, we don't know. We'll have a go. So as well as The Last of Us and Daredevil, this week we are also going to be talking Spider-Man 4 timeline rumours. We're going to be talking... I do know this. Oh, those Avengers Doomsday set leak photos. Yeah. And we're going to also go through the Harry Potter casting announcement. We'll also then be listening to all your thoughts and theories in this week's Pod Fans Assemble. This is also your spoiler warning. There will be spoilers and speculation throughout the episode. And if you want to skip ahead to any of the news or to The Last of Us or to the Pod Fans Assemble section, then we'll put timestamps in the description like we always do. So that means we're going to change things up.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with Daredevil. Just to keep you on your toes.
You're crazy.
I am fucking mental. So, Daredevil Born Again season finale, straight to hell. Right, how good was this episode? We've not talked about this yet because Anthony refused to tell me to talk to me about it. We are going to do a full recap. We're going to go through everything, but I just want to know general thoughts.
Can I be completely honest?
Yeah, go on.
I both loved and hated it.
Did you? Why did you hate it? Without going into was there a specific scene or something that you didn't like?
Just
I'm moving.
How the overall story ended.
You didn't like
for
the
the
ending?
season. It's not that. No.
What?
This is
a cliffhanger.
This is what I don't. I didn't dislike any of it.
Yeah.
But I disliked the whole thing. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I don't.
I have to go into detail to explain it. So Should we go through
the episode?
Yeah.
And you can go like that. Didn't like that.
No, I didn't. There's no. It's just the general...
Was it just disappointment that it's over? Or was it just that it didn't go the way you thought it was going to go?
How it's over. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the
See,
whole
I liked
thing.
it.
I'll do an explanation at the end.
Okay.
The thing is, I love that I hate it and I hate that I loved it. That I'm having a whole series of emotions with it.
Okay.
It's been a whole thing this morning.
No, that's fine.
So,
this is the problem with getting up at 6 o'clock to watch it and trying to watch it before work. You're knackered and it takes ages to try and process it. We'll go through it.
Yeah.
We'll go through it bit by bit. We need to go into it in detail because it's the season finale. And like last episode,
happened.
So much to talk about, so many things going on. So we started with a flashback this episode.
We did.
So we had Vanessa visiting Dex.
Yeah.
She's basically making a deal with him. So she'll get him freed if he goes and assassinates Foggy and Dunbenny.
It was basically just the follow-up from the announcement from the realization that it was Vanessa that organised it rather than Wilson. So it was just to give us that little tidbit from
I suppose,
the end of the last episode.
I think it was giving us more than that, though. For a start, I love the fact that she went in the white dress because it was just like she is Kingpin. And she says, I don't know where my husband is, basically. So it was her taking over that role.
Yeah.
But I felt really sorry for Dex all the way through this scene. He just looked like not happy, and he looked like he's got a problem, and she's basically capitalising on the fact that he's got a problem. And I feel like they were trying to make us feel a little bit sorry for him, and he came across as like, what's the word? Not naive, but like he could be very easily taken advantage of, and that's what she's doing to him, basically.
There was like a vulnerability to him.
That's the word I was looking for, but I couldn't think of it. He was vulnerable. And I wonder whether is this kind of set up for like a redemption arc. It's gonna, not like full redemption, but like reluctant team up sort of thing.
Maybe
from where we end the season.
Yeah.
Bullseye would be really, really good to have on board.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether it's kind of setting that up to a degree. So we go back to the present. We've got Matt in hospital. He wakes up, says Karen, which Heather is very, very upset about, clearly. She's not Karen, though. You're never going to be Karen, Heather. We don't like you anymore. I've gone off. Yeah. Do you know what, though? I think they've done a very good job of... Because they're clearly trying to turn her towards the dark side. I think they've done a good job of it because up until 2 episodes ago, I loved her. I thought she was absolutely mega. And now I very, very much don't like the woman.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't believe Matt and she's completely sided with Fisk.
Yeah.
He wakes up. He goes straight into the case with Kirsten. It's like, doesn't even really acknowledge Heather's there, to be perfectly honest. She's not buying it, though. He tries to warn her about Fisk, saying this was all Fisk, all this sort of stuff. He's not, he's not a good dude. Yeah. Does she question when, why did you save his life?
I can't remember.
I think she might. She might not. But maybe she does. She should have. She should have. But, right, this is the moment where he's lost her.
Yeah.
Matt and Heather is not a thing anymore. Yeah. It's completely over. We go back to the Fisks, Vanessa and Wilson, and they are together again. They are fully united.
They're absolutely a unit.
100% they are. I'm still not 100% sure I believe Wilson, but at the moment they are fully like a unit. I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we start to find out a little bit more information about Red Hook, but we don't get the full reveal yet.
No.
And when we didn't get it here, I was like, oh, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. They're basically saying, or I think isn't Wilson saying like we used to make millions off Red Hook, or used to make
billions,
and now we can make billions. Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? And then it gets revealed later.
Yeah,
he does say during that conversation, he had the best of intentions originally. So when he first ran for mayor, he had the best intentions, but when such a huge opportunity presents itself, he can't pass it up.
Yeah.
So we were right. He wanted
trying.
He was trying to be a good dude.
Yeah.
And like Matt was trying to fight Daredevil, he just couldn't fight the fact that Kingpin is there. It's a thing.
Well, it's that same thing. This episode is both the realization that neither of them can fight what they're essentially born to be.
Boy, I like what you did. Yeah. But Matt's kind of fighting it. In the scene with Punisher in the apartment, he's not gone all the way yet. He did with Bullseye because he pushed him off the roof.
He was never a killer before anyway, was he?
He tried to kill Bullseye by throwing him off the top of the roof.
Yeah, but that's
and he's saying
not my Daredevil.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
no, I get what you mean, but he's not completely. I think if you fully let Daredevil take over, I think he'd be a killer.
Yeah.
So Matt's still got enough control over it. Yeah. It's like it's this like dark side of him, and maybe he can't fully control it and keep it tied down, but he can point it in the right direction and have an element of control over it, basically. Sticking with Fisk then, this is where Fisk just declares all-out war on vigilantes.
Yeah.
Completely. He sends Buck off to murder Matt, which was...
Because it wasn't even going for Daredevil, it was actually going for Matt.
Oh, yeah, 100% it's going for Matt.
I was like, holy shit.
He tells Sheila to figure out who's on board and basically get rid of anybody who isn't.
Yeah.
And then he cuts the power to the city.
He does.
He gets the Con Ed dude in after Sheila, which in retrospect is a really bad move. Because you send a load of vigilantes into a dark room where they can't see with a blind dude who can't see, and that's his superpower.
Yeah.
And it's like, the whole time I was like, what are you doing?
You've taken away your one sense that he already didn't have.
This is what I always say about like Scream. You ever say like, I don't get why Scream's scary, because it's just a dude with a knife. He's in your house. Turn the lights off, get yourself a knife, and you're already one up on him. And it's basically what they've just done there. It's like, let's make us all blind and fight the blind guy who can see in the dark.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Meanwhile then, Sheila, this was dark. This was really intense. Sheila meets Commissioner Gallo in the hallway, and he basically says, I'm going after Fisk. Yeah. I'm going to the Supreme Court. I'm going completely the right way about it, completely legally, not fighting it as a rebellion or anything like that. And he wants her on board. And she runs with it.
Yeah.
When she was like, yeah, I'm on board, were you...
I thought she was on board.
I did.
I genuinely thought, because every scene throughout this series, she's been taking a step back in that room. Yeah, and she's been just observing everybody.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was thinking she was taking it all in. And then so when she had this conversation, I was like, great, she's on that side now as well. Yeah. And she's going to go against him. And then...
I don't think for a minute she is on board with Fisk. I don't think she believes in what he's doing.
No.
I think she thinks he's a criminal. I think she thinks he's a really bad dude.
Do you think it's self-preservation?
This is 100% just self-preservation in my eyes, yeah. Because she never looks happy, like you said. When he was listening to that recording, she was stood there, like, sat back against the wall with her arms crossed, looking dead upset.
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't even sure that she'd given him the recording and he wasn't listening to some sort of, it wasn't tapped or something like that on her phone. But yeah, I don't think she's on board at all.
No.
And I think she's probably going to try and get out.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced she's going to survive series 2.
No.
But I could see her being some sort of mold for Matt.
Do you think Daniel will kill her?
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Yeah. Someone's going to kill her.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I can see I can just see her like leaking information to Matt in this rebellion. Spoilers that happens at the end of the series. We've done a spoiler one and we're all right. That's why we brought it back in.
Yeah.
Back to the hospital.
Yeah.
Buck's on his way to make Matt, the blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen, basically a martyr rather than Daredevil being a hero. We knew, we said this from episode 1, Fisk's going to make someone a martyr.
Yeah.
Not one little bit of me thought it was going to be Matt at all.
No,
so we were on the right wavelength with it, but when you think about it, it's brilliant because it's killing two birds with one stone. It's getting rid of his biggest nemesis, basically, and probably one of the only people who can stand up against him.
Yeah.
And he's using it completely to his advantage. But obviously, he turns the lights off. Stupid idea. He turns the lights off, but can't see. Matt can. And Matt basically escapes, and he heads home where, oh my god, I was buzzing. Finds Frank.
Yeah.
Punisher's back. Do you know what? I knew he was going to be back.
Yeah.
Because I'd seen like leaked set photos of him and Daredevil together.
Yeah.
But then there was still a little bit of me that was like, is that this season? Is it season 2 set photos? Is this 100% where we're going? And then I went on Disney Plus this morning to watch it, and there's just a picture of Frank and Daredevil on the episode. Oh. And I just thought, why have you taken away the... Yeah. I mean, I know we kind of all knew, but it's like, that would have just been such a surprise if we had no idea whether it was going to happen or it wasn't, basically. And I just think it was a bad move by them for taking that away, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, Frank's there, reluctantly, by the sounds of it. They know...
Right, can I need to throw this one in there.
Go on.
How the hell...
Is this a thing you didn't like?
A little bit.
Maybe.
A little bit, but I've only just realised it now.
Okay, go on.
Not realised it now, but I've forgotten about it. So he says to Frank...
Yeah.
I see you've... Not I see.
I know, yeah. I was the same.
But you had a shave.
I know you've had a shave and a haircut, and I was like, what?
How do you know that?
I can hear the sound of things bouncing for lack of... I don't know.
I really didn't understand that
I have no idea.
Like, I get your powers, but that just seems absolutely far-fetched.
To be fair, though, either don't put the line in, because it wasn't needed in there, or you couldn't have him going up to him and like feeling his face. Just 2 seconds. Just want to see what we're doing with the hair and the facial features. No, I did think that though.
I just pictured you know the film Hook.
Yeah.
You know when the kid goes up to Peter.
Oh yeah, and starts
feels
his face like that.
Peter, it is you.
It did, yeah. It didn't take me out of it, but
no, but I just went,
what? How?
Hang on.
How? What?
Yeah.
But it's the same as. Did he ever get onto the tattoos?
No.
It was just a bullet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. But then he felt a picture and knew it was Heather.
I'd recognise these acrylic.
Can I just say, and this was pointed out online and we didn't pick it up at the time. So Matt, who is a great... What?
I've just got... in my head.
Matt has got it. Matt, who's a criminal lawyer and a very, very good one, and a vigilante, so he's not a stupid dude, goes into a crime scene, takes his gloves off and starts rubbing his fingers all over the evidence. It's like...
I didn't even think about that.
What are you doing?
That's so funny.
But then how else was he going to feel the picture? He could have just done whatever he did.
He can't feel it through his gloves.
Whatever he did, because that wouldn't be realistic. Whatever he did to figure out that Frank didn't have a beard anymore, couldn't he have just done that with the photos? I don't know. Anyway,
that's so funny. Okay.
They know the task force is on the way.
Yes.
Matt can hear them on their way. And they break in. And then cue one of the most brutal scenes.
It was brilliant.
Not the most brutal, probably the most brutal scene up to this point, and then it went a whole other level.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
It was mega.
It was really good.
And you know it's a good scene when you're sitting there going, oh, like that all the way through.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
Did he cut someone's head off at one point and it went flying across the room?
I can't even remember.
It was really
I just
rough.
remember being like, damn, this is heavy.
This is good, yeah. And then later on when he goes to Red Hook and he's like stabbing people in the neck, it was good. That's really bad that we're sitting there thinking it's good, but that was
it was
really,
good though.
Really good. Frank just straight up
is,
murdering people.
And I always go back to the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
Yeah.
I love a bit of grit to it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like, I get that the superhero...
Not excessive for the sake of it, though.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with it if it's comedy. Like, Deadpool's is just excessive stupid. But that's kind of the point of it.
Beauty of it,
It's what you go for. And this hasn't been overly in your face. Even everything that happens in this episode, I don't think was overdone.
We've said a lot in the past, some of the Marvel films just haven't quite had the grit that we felt
no, not at all.
Probably would have been needed for them.
Yeah. I know.
And when I say grit, I'm not talking gore. I'm not talking about slicing people's heads off and stuff like that. But it's
consequences.
Yeah.
That's what you're after.
It's kind of a deepness of it.
I know.
Yeah.
And I know these guys are heroes. And so and Matt's sitting there, and at least Matt is fighting that you know, the instinct to murder these task force members. But it's not really it's not realistic for every every Marvel hero, even when something really bad's happened, been like, no, I'm going to do the right thing, even though you've murdered 10 people and my brother or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just kill them. Do you know? In most cases, not saying I murder people or anything like that. But you know what I mean? But it's just weird that none of them do. So to then get to this point where within the MCU, you've got Matt fighting the urge, and Punisher just going, nah, bang, dead, and just running through them, that it just makes it feel more real.
I must admit, I really enjoyed that moment when Punisher was saying that he needed to kill the guy because it turned out to be the guy that killed
Cole North. Yeah.
And then he was like, no, you can't. And then he was like, why not? And then shot the other
shot
guy.
somebody else,
And I was like, oh!
He just needs to vent.
Yeah.
Like, well, look, I'm killing somebody.
And then
so who's he going to be?
Stop it!
So he shoots his... like, I'm all right now. I've killed somebody. Yeah. I'm okay. I'll be all right for another 3 minutes. As long as you find me somebody else to murder within that time. When this happened, though, and during that scene, probably at the end of the scene, I did have this, and we've talked about this just overwhelming feeling. I was just like... First, I thought, this is the MCU. It's back.
Yeah.
We're back now. This is it. And then I thought, when we are, but we're not. It's not gone back to old MCU. It's gone now to an evolved version of the MCU for the people who watched the MCU.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it had gone back to kids. It had gone really kiddie and family friendly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing depending on the product.
The thing, because you've said you like the fact that you can go with Jake to watch a movie and all of that kind of stuff.
And I don't think I'd let Jake watch this.
No.
But Jake's getting older. Jake's 12 now, and this clearly isn't a 12. But it can't be kiddie forever, because then you're gonna lose your audience, and I think that's why they have lost the audience. So I'm not saying don't do family friendly things, but this is nice to just be like, right, so for all you people who started watching this in 2008 in Iron Man, who are now, many years older?
15 years older.
Yeah. This is, well, welcome. It's grown up. It's suitable for you now. And they've touched on it with things like Moon Knight and stuff like that, but this was just... It was just a whole other level, basically. So we have the whole thing with Cole. We kill the random on the floor, and then Grenade comes in. They're having an argument, aren't they?
Yeah.
He's like, "Whoa, no, hang on, Grenade, let me grab you," and then out the window. And then Karen's back. Oh, I was absolutely.
As soon as
buzzing.
she got out of the car, before I even saw her face, I went, "It's Karen."
I was just
I knew it was Karen. But I was so okay with
made
it.
up. We've got rid of Heather. The proper one's back now.
Yeah.
Karen's back. Yeah, I can't wait to see Karen and Heather.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. They are gonna come face to face.
Oh yeah.
And it's not gonna be nice, but it's gonna be amazing at the same time.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so good. So Karen comes and rescues them, basically. They go back to Frank's place. Karen and Matt are planning to try and figure out why Vanessa wanted Foggy dead.
Yeah.
They want Frank involved. Frank's not interested though. Although he does say that if a fist comes, he'll put a bullet in his fat ass, basically. He says if he
fat head.
Fat head, is that what it is?
Yeah,
fat
he said,
head.
I'll put a bullet in his fat head.
Sorry, fat head.
And I laughed my head off.
Fat ass is better. No, fat head is better, to be fair.
Because obviously when you're kids and you're not allowed to swear and stuff.
Fat head.
Fat head was like one of the biggest insults you could give each other in our house, yeah. Here, you fat head.
So basically he says that. We get a moment between Frank and Karen.
Loved it.
I know, but I don't know why. And Matt kind of questions it when they go to their storage place.
I thought that they had a brief fling.
I can't remember.
I'm sure,
but I feel like there's still something
there.
Yeah,
I think there is, and I think there might be a bit of a love triangle-y thing going on in the next season.
Potentially,
not dramatically, but I think
I feel like
the subtleness of it, but I think it'll be there.
I think Matt would step back instantly. I think
Matt would step back instantly, but I don't think Karen would do it to Matt.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean.
So I think there's kind of like that tension.
I'll be surprised if it doesn't get explored in a lot more detail. In the next series. Cut to Daniel. We've not really seen Daniel much in this episode. We don't really see him much at all in this episode. This is kind of it. So it's Daniel and Buck. They go to visit the city council, and they are basically threatening them all to make sure that they stay loyal to Fisk. Yeah. Physically and we'll get you done for money laundering and all that sort of stuff. He is Daniel properly slotting into the right-hand man. He's just getting into that old Wesley role of I'll do anything for Fisk. Yeah. And I can just see him. We've known he'd do anything anyway, and he said in the last episode, I'll burn for you. Yeah. But I think we're now getting to the point where it's like Buck will murder for Fisk. Yeah. I think Daniel's there maybe or about to be there. It's a huge difference between threatening somebody and actually doing it. I think he's there.
I wouldn't put it past Daniel to then start either doing things to question Buck's loyalty to Fisk to try and replace him, or he'll end up just out and out killing him. To try and replace him and getting right into
because he just wants more Fisk's power
pocket.
And more
absolutely.
Being there. Yeah,
absolutely.
Could you see him eventually going against Fisk?
Yeah.
What, and just trying to be old man, get out, I'm in charge now?
I don't even think it'll be that. I think that Fisk will want to go a different way at some point that Daniel won't agree with and see it as a weakness or as an anti what Fisk was about. And I think he'll challenge him at that point.
I could also see someone next series, and I know we've already mentioned Sheila, but maybe it's too obvious, somebody from the Fisk camp jumping ship. Or sneakily helping Matt. Not right, I'm going Wilson, I'm joining the rebels, but help him.
Well, I thought
that
might be the journalist.
BB?
Yeah.
No, I don't think she's in enough. I can see.
I don't think she is now, but I think she might be
potentially
because
she's
she knows got that
doing.
Relationship with Daniel,
and I know what you mean. Yeah,
and with him getting closer, I think she'll find out more. And because obviously I don't understand if she isn't. I don't understand why there was that whole big thing in the last episode about her having a different name to tell other stuff.
I know what you mean.
Tell the real stories. So there's got to be something more to that.
See, but I could see it being... I'd kind of like the idea of it being Daniel.
Yeah.
But then I could also see it being Buck and Daniel topping him.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. For some reason. I don't know why we're theorising, aren't we? But
yeah, from what I've been told, what we've been told as the story so far, nothing has been an accident.
No, I know. Yeah.
Everything that's been said and been done and the colours and all of that kind of stuff, everything has been purposeful. So I wouldn't... It wouldn't make sense to me why there was that whole thing about her having two names to tell journalism stories.
We're going to find out
unless there's something more to it.
I get what you mean. Yeah, no, we'll see. Yeah. So much, like I said, there's so much going on. I know. We've already touched on this, but back to Matt and Karen. They're in a storage lockup basically, and we finally find out
about
what is happening with Red Hook. So
it was brilliant. To be fair,
very good.
It was not what I was expecting at all, and I just went, do you know what? That's kind of perfection.
I know, but at first I was like, oh, is that it? And then the more they talked about it, I was like, no, I get this.
Yeah,
we're getting
that's
into this.
Amazing.
So it's a free port, which means it doesn't come under any jurisdiction of the US. Yeah. So the US government, the US taxman, the police have zero jurisdiction there. Yeah. So the Fisk can get away with money laundering, tax evasion.
It's literally the biggest legal loophole
exactly,
ever.
Yeah. So they figure out that Foggy had stumbled on it And he hadn't even put two and two together with the fact that all these bits and pieces, what they could get away with. He was just using it as a defense because you can't prosecute the guy because he wasn't on US soil.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shit defense, if I'm honest. Because I'm sure you wouldn't just go, oh, sound, well, that's fine, go and murder somebody, shoot somebody in the face there and do anything about it. But it's just setting it up from a story perspective. Yeah. And, it's going to be really good. So when that all-out war happens, it's going to be at Red Hook, and no one can stop it. No. Because it's just complete freedom to do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah. And I think... with all the stuff with Adam and all of that kind of stuff, we've still not seen where that's been happening.
It's got to be Red Hook.
So that's what I'm thinking, it is in Red Hook, because then no one can be done for anything.
No, I know,
because it's all been,
and we see it at the end as well.
Yeah.
I think that's all got to be. I think that's all going to be Red Hook.
Yeah.
So Frank goes straight to Red Hook. He heads there first. Basically, he comes face to face with his fan club. Basically, it takes a few of them out, and then they try and recruit him. Basically, they completely idolise him. Even Powell, completely.
Even though he's just murdered off their gang.
He still is just like, I just want you to be the boss, basically.
Did you think that someone was going to swoop in there when he was like on the floor, literally getting
I was waiting for Matt to come.
I was waiting for Matt to turn
up. Yeah. But then it sets up the story so well.
100%.
Now for it to not happen. But they completely admire him. Powell's like, we'd love you to come and join our ranks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Frank's completely disgusted by it. Yeah. He says, you admire me. You're out of your fucking minds. You think you know my pain, how I see the world. It's just a circus and a bunch of clowns. I ain't going to serve with you. I wouldn't fucking piss on you if you were on fire. So good.
I know. It's amazing.
John Bernthal is phenomenal.
Yes.
He was made for this.
Yeah.
No
absolutely.
one else is ever going to be able to do this role as well as Bernthal.
No, not at all.
And again, this is the MCU that we now need to go into. But then it's going to feel really weird with like...
Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like I think somebody had posted on again. I'm not robbing this. Somebody posted online. It's like it must have been a scene from last week. I can't remember what scene was, but it was a really heavy scene.
Yeah,
and it was like this is set in the same universe where a giant talking goat is learning magic at a school for wizards. And it's like, yeah, it is, isn't it? No, a giant talking bull. The bull from Doctor Strange. And I was like, yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, great. Yeah, but. Do you know what? Yeah, run with it. I like they've done it well though. We've got a magic amulet that gives tiger powers or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like it fits well. It's done well.
Yeah.
So this was the moment. So meanwhile, while Frank is getting beaten up and kidnapped by the task force, Kingpin brings Commissioner Gallo before his own little court in Red Hook, and Fisk is basically judge, jury. Full-on executioner. He's not judge, jury, and executioner. He just crushes his head. And I was watching, and I was just like, we're not going to see this. He kept doing it, and I was like, is he going to be able to do it? Is he going to be able to perform?
Absolutely saw it.
It was grim.
Gross, but it was amazing.
It was amazing. It was so good.
I was like...
I've seen it so many times on socials today, and it's like, that is so well done. Practical effects,
amazing.
There was an interview with one of the directors who was saying like in this episode there is a practical effect that's gonna make you think, oh my god, have they actually gone there?
Yeah.
And then you're also gonna wonder how on earth did they do that practically?
Yeah.
And it's
so clever,
it's so well done,
brilliantly, and it's brilliantly performed by. Vincent as well,
and
like, he was
the guy playing Gallo as well. Yeah.
Honestly, like, I mean, and this just kind of emphasizes how terrified we've been of Kingpin the entire time without him doing anything.
The thing that we've said he's going to do at some point,
he's done.
I know,
and he didn't break a sweat.
No, I know.
It was all, and that's what I think. That's what like. I say scares me. I'm a 34-year-old man. Like, I know it's not real, but like the scary thing about him is that it's all so calm and collected.
I know.
It's not chaotic. It's not fury. It's not. It's just so calculated.
That's the
thing that really freaks me out about him.
But we've said like you can see him snapping.
Yeah,
he didn't snap.
And if that's what he's like when he's not snapped, you can only imagine what he can do
when he actually
goes.
It.
Yeah.
No, it was insane.
It was so good.
I was like, he's not going to do this. And when it happened, I was just stood there with my hand on my head.
Jaw was hanging down just as much as his was, to be fair.
So good.
Like, what?
We've gone there. It's literally the most... Even, I suppose, not compared to something in Daredevil, like, but none of it's serious in Daredevil. When Johnny Storm gets his skin ripped off, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah.
This was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You just murdered. And I know Johnny Storm got murdered, but this was completely different intensity and the way it was put across. Just absolutely mega.
It was so good.
Just phenomenal. So while this is all happening, Matt and Karen basically watch on from the docks, properly from a distance, totally, utterly outnumbered.
Did you think they were going in? I thought they were going in.
I thought they were going to... Yeah. I don't know
because of where we were in the episode. I was like, well, this is clearly now the start of it.
Yeah, and then when they didn't start going in, I was like, don't finish it here. This can't be.
That's what I was like.
Thought this is going to be it. We're going to finish because I think it went to black at the end.
Yeah, he faded out after. No, it was.
We Need an Army, and it faded out.
Yeah. And I was like, that can't be the end. And then
I thought that was.
And then it went to the shot of the window, didn't it? Yeah.
Yes, we went on with. We got the next one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's go back. We Need an Army.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming. We thought it was going to happen this episode.
Yeah.
It didn't. I think it. Looking at it now on how the episode went and at what point with all that was going on, they would have needed that army. It would have felt too quick and cheap and rushed. When you think about how many puzzle pieces were put into place, like you said, nothing's been accidental. It's all been really, really well strategically put in place, so that all these little Easter eggs and moments where you go, oh, that was that. Do you know what I mean? Running into a battle now and just having Jessica Jones and Luke Cage show up, and the other one, Danny Rand, just popping up randomly. We don't need him. It just would have felt cheap. Yeah. And whilst we didn't necessarily get what we wanted, it's a much better way of doing it. And I'm glad we didn't get what we wanted.
Same.
It's just set up for series 2. The whole thing has just been set up for season 2. Yeah. But I think, again, based on the original story, I can see this would have been the end of the mid-season finale. Yeah. And then we would have gone on to something else.
I really liked, as that whole speech was happening, it was slowly giving you a shot of each of the pawns going into their place as well.
Oh, you mean in the next morning, the speech from Matt? Yeah. And, it was good.
That was so well done.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going, oh my God, everyone's gearing up. So at that point I was going, is this an extra long episode? I was like, are we getting a little bit? Because I was wondering whether there was going to be...
You mean when they were like Josie's and stuff like that?
Yeah, I didn't even think the fight was going to happen, but I thought maybe you'll start seeing people suit up or something.
I expected
thought you might have got that.
Angela.
You know, yeah.
Yeah,
and then them turning up on a rooftop or something and going...
But even when they were sat there going, we need an army, a little bit of me was waiting for Angela just to rock up and go, I've been watching. I'm here ready to go in with you. And I could see that happening.
Well, that's what I kind of thought was going to happen. I thought there was going to be like a rooftop scene and then several of them all come together and go.
Yeah. But again, it wouldn't have felt...
No,
it would have been good at the time, but I think we'd have been sitting here now going, oh, it was rushed.
Yeah.
It was too rushed.
Yeah.
But... Right, let's go to the next morning.
Okay.
So we've skipped ahead a little bit. Let's go to the next morning. So, next morning, after he said, we need this army, Kingpin's won.
Yeah.
He's just won this battle completely. He's got martial law. He's put in 8 o'clock.
I wanted to mention something because I feel like it was also a serious thing.
What?
The Fisks, when they were sat having dinner together.
Yeah.
Did you see the wall?
No.
Looked like there was blood spatter.
On the white picture?
Yeah.
It's been there all season.
Yeah. But... it's not something that I've picked up on before, but now I'm seeing it, and all of the blood spatter is pointing towards Vanessa,
as if it's coming out the back of her head.
No, as if it's going towards her.
Oh, really? Okay.
As if the violence is leading towards her.
Oh, we've said
and so
this.
I've kind of gone,
I'm still not convinced.
No,
he's completely on board with her.
No, I don't think it's going to be them two. I think that's I think it's a prelude of what's going to happen to her.
She's not going to make the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'm reading too much into it now or what, but I just don't know. It just seems like a very odd.
This is why it's good.
Odd way to angle the camera and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but that's part of it, isn't it? So they've won martial law, 8 p.m. curfews. Vigilantes have been officially outlawed completely. They're not a thing anymore. Or they're not going to be anyway. the Fisks have got everyone who has opposed them in cages, including Frank.
Yeah.
It's got to be Red Hook. It has to be Red Hook.
Yeah.
And this is where Heather accepts a job working for Fisk.
Yeah.
After all Matt said, that is just, it's just a complete
I literally
fuck
was just
you.
like, you're an
It
idiot.
was a screw you to Matt.
Mm-hmm.
It was. You've annoyed me. You've pissed me off. I think you're mental. Not only do I not believe you, but I'm now going to go and join this
Isn't that
dude.
petty of a therapist?
Yeah,
though?
I think it's petty as well. But
For someone
I think
that analyses people's actions, she's been petty.
this is why I think it's done a really good job of making us hate her within 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Going from rooting for her and Matt all the
Yeah.
way through the series to, honestly, I can't wait for Karen to shoot you because that's where it's going. It's just turned a corner. And I think it's done it really, really well, and it doesn't feel rushed.
No.
Even though it was quick,
Yeah,
it doesn't feel rushed. So we go to Josie's.
Yeah.
Matt suited up, addresses the bar full of his allies.
Do you know, I thought
What?
that when you saw him through the window, I thought that was a picture on the newspaper at first until it zoomed in.
Did you? Yeah.
And then realised it was him in the bar.
So he's in the bar with a load of cops, good cops.
Yeah.
Josie, Cherry, and that Detective Kim from the bank robbery episode. Do we all know it's Matt now? Surely they must all know Matt Murdock
I don't know.
How
Well, they
could you
must
not? I mean, Josie must get onto it.
Yeah.
She must. I mean, maybe not Detective Kim if she doesn't know who Matt Murdock is because he
Yeah.
didn't put his mask on until he put his mask on and then came out of the room, didn't he? So potentially the cops, but Josie's surely got to get onto the fact.
You'd think.
But there was a look on her face of like, what the hell sort of thing. So
Yeah.
maybe she's
I don't
twigged
know.
on and nobody knows. But again,
Yeah,
we'll find out. But this is it's a rally call. He basically says, I can't see my city, but I can feel it. The system isn't working. It's rotten, corrupt. But this is our city, not his. We can take it back together. The weak, the strong, all of us. Resist, rebel, rebuild. Because we are the city without fear. Again, whoever wrote this is well done.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Really good
That and Frank's speech were just like absolutely mega. And again, like you said, we see people, getting into place. We see Angela staring down task force cops.
Yeah.
She's ready, and that's when it says the strong, the weak, and the strong.
Yeah.
And we go to Angela, which basically is like she's going to be strong now. She's going to get this. She's got this amulet. We see Kirsten looking over the Red Hook documents, so she's going to be going down the legal route, I assume.
Yeah.
And we see Bullseye as well
Yeah.
when he's going through all this, looking really sad
Yeah.
and really vulnerable.
Stop
like
feeling
you
sorry
said,
for him.
I do. Well,
I don't feel sorry for him.
I feel so. I mean, all right, I've not seen Daredevil series 3 from Netflix,
Okay.
and I don't know how he's gone from because he was a cop, wasn't he? He was an FBI agent,
Yeah.
and he ended up working for Fisk and pretending to be Daredevil in series 3
Right.
to get Daredevil in trouble.
Yeah.
And then became a killer, basically. That's what happened.
I think I only got to like episode 4 in
See, I've
season
not
3.
seen it, but I
don't think
know
I've
that's the
finished it.
gist of it.
Right.
And I assume he's been, probably in series 3, completely manipulated by Fisk into doing that. And I'm not saying like, I'd forgive him, or I mean, it's not real. It's not that big. But I'm not saying like you'll just be like, what a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to try and put across this thing that he's a bastard.
Yeah.
He's evil. He's a psychopath, but he's been he's nuts.
He's been played.
He's nuts, and he's been played and manipulated.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like we said with Matt and Daredevil.
Yeah.
Fisk's got this nutter who probably could have been helped to a degree, and he's thought, well, no, I'm just going to put you in the direction of Daredevil and set you off doing things, basically. And I think he's starting to understand that that's what's happening to him.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to go down that, pushing him towards maybe not a redemption arc, but it'll make sense for him to side with Daredevil in this fight. It might be reluctant.
Or kill someone important on the other side and just give that little nod before running off into the darkness.
Maybe,
that type of...
But I still think like it's to the point where if this was all timed differently, he'd be prime for Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
He would be perfect for... Because he's in the comics, he's a Thunderbolt.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he takes on the Hawkeye mantle for the Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
So he'd be perfect for Thunderbolts. He's got a much darker story than anything we've seen in the MCU. But I mean, this is MCU, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more to Bullseye, and he's going to have more of a character arc in series 2, just than he likes killing people, and he's just a regular, freak of the week baddie for Matt to fight. I think there's going to be more of a story to it. We get our first post credits
Yeah.
of the entire season.
For any season that we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I think it's one of the. We normally get one at like the very end of the series.
No.
Don't we?
No.
We had a couple in WandaVision. I'm sure we've had the odd one.
We had a few in WandaVision. We had a few in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And then they pretty much stopped.
Maybe.
We got one or two in Loki, but not every episode.
I can't think if we got one in She-Hulk.
We got two in Loki because we got one when we first got Richard E. Grant.
Yes, we did, didn't we? He was post-credits.
And then we got the one at the end, which was the Kang statue.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so they were the two. They were the two in Loki, and then I think it stopped after that.
I mean, we might have got in She-Hulk, but I usually turned off before the credits started. If I'm really honest. So post credits.
Yeah.
Frank in his cage.
Yeah.
Gets all pally with the guard, both from Jersey. Oh, nice to meet you, sort of thing.
Wooing
him. Goes to shake his hand. When Frank put his hand outside that cage.
I was like, that's stupid.
Honestly, to the point where I felt sorry. I was like, don't do it. Don't shake his hand.
You know, people
I know you're a bad guy, but don't do it, mate.
You know, people do that scenes that give you the same vibes.
Yeah.
It made me think of Michael Caine in Austin Powers Goldmember.
No, I can't remember it.
He was like, you haven't even got a name tag. Just lie on the floor. You know, it's like it was that type of thing.
His face?
No, it was that type of thing, and he was just like, you know, you've lost. Just get on the floor.
Just get on the floor. Yeah. I was rooting for the guard. It was that one-sided. I was like, don't shake his hand. Don't do it, mate. Just go. No, I'm alright. He grabs his hand. He goes to shake his hand. He breaks his hand. He pulls his arm through the cage.
Breaks his whole arm.
He breaks his arm.
Friggin' hell.
And that is, I assume, that is the start of the Punisher special presentation.
Yes.
That's where it starts.
So the expectation is that we're going to get that Punisher special before we get Daredevil season 2.
Well, I get the impression it's going to be not like Halloween, but, you know, we got like Werewolf by Night at Halloween. We got the special presentation for Guardians at Christmas.
Yeah.
I would put it probably around there. Halloween, go for Halloween again.
Yeah.
It's at the end of this year, though, at some point. Because season 2's 2026.
Yeah.
So it's going to be in the middle. But I think it's just going to be set up.
That's gonna.
It's gonna be the
his escape.
Yeah.
His escape, and I think it may go into a side story of him taking down his fan club.
I don't want him to, though. I think I want it to be. I want the fan club to be the ones who they all fight as that's the other army. Maybe one of them, right? Powell or Cole, one of those two. I could see him. I could see him going after Cole, actually, because he tried to kill Cole. He couldn't because Matt wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
He's the one. I know they're all Punisher, but he's the one who went and killed Hector.
Yeah.
As Frank. So I could potentially see him going after him, yeah. But I do think most of it's just going to be escape from... Well, I'd watch that. Just him tearing through Anti-Vigilance Task Force. Just getting out of Red Hook.
Yeah.
And rescuing everybody who's in those cages, including Swordsman. And having Swordsman helping him get out. Yeah, I'm fully on board with that. And that was it.
Do you reckon he might find somebody else in one of the cages?
Yeah, potentially.
You know, like Jessica Jones.
Danny Rand. Throw him in there. Let him. If he can sacrifice himself at the end of the episode.
Kind of, it set one of them up, and it just kind of like slowly drips in the people that are going to be in the fight for
If you want people to not hate the fact that Danny Rand comes back for season 2, put him in the special presentation. And have him sort of, you know, show people that he's not a complete waste of space.
Yeah.
Use that to bring him back. Yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair. That was it, though. Come on, right, so... Can we just think about the irony, though, if it was Luke Cage? Locked in a cage. Do it. 100%. Do it.
Sorry, go on.
I loved it.
Right, I loved it.
I don't think I loved it as much as the last episode.
I thoroughly enjoyed everything in the episode.
Okay.
I think it was just the disappointment that we didn't get the big fight.
Okay, I know what you mean.
That was... So it wasn't like... I didn't dislike anything in the episode.
Yeah.
I just went, oh... Like, normally, when you wrap up a series, it's 95% wrapped up in a bow.
And this wasn't at all. This was set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what threw me off, because usually when you finish a season, you get everything all boxed off very nicely, and then everyone goes, oh, I can breathe again now. And then suddenly someone gets stabbed. Yeah. And then you go, oh, well, who was that? And then that's the cliffhanger for the next season.
Yeah, so leave it on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but not
whereas this is
the whole thing.
That the entire story is on pause. And that was... I don't know that I hate it.
Okay.
I kind of love it.
Do you want me to make you like it?
But I also hate it.
Do you want me to make you like it?
Go on.
We've been moaning about Marvel not doing things the way that they used to do it. Right, okay.
And they've done something totally different this time.
The Netflix universe,
yeah.
all the Netflix shows,
yeah.
phase 1 of Defenders.
Right.
Okay? Everything we've seen since Netflix, She-Hulk, Echo, Hawkeye, No Way Home to a degree.
Yeah.
That was Defenders Phase 2.
Right.
This was Defenders Infinity War.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And now it's on to Endgame.
Okay.
Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again is Defenders Endgame. And this was Defenders Infinity War. It had to end on Thanos snapping, going to the garden, and Thanos winning. And
so this is the chaos
Kingpin,
of the city being in darkness.
This is. And I don't think we're going to get a 5-year time jump or anything like that.
No.
Wouldn't surprise me if we got like a 12-month time jump or something, though. And they're all like shacked up. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it could work either way. It could literally be season 2 start off at that very moment Frank escapes and rolls up back at Josie's or something like that.
Yeah.
But it could very well be 12 months later. And then we don't have to go through, not that it'd be a bad thing, we don't have to go through the training Angela. It's 12 months later. Angela's the protege.
Yeah.
And we see it all kick off. Opening scene is Angela fighting Task Force, and then Matt coming in halfway through and being like, you missed that shot, and then them both fighting the Task Force at the end. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
Or not even Daredevil, but somebody we haven't seen yet. So someone like
Jessica Jones popping in halfway through because Angela has missed somebody behind her with a gun. And she goes to shoot him, and Jessica just puts her hand in front and grabs the bullet and was like, this is why I'm still here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, just leave me alone.
And
I would have got him.
And then I think
and then Luke Cage comes bursting through the door.
For the first 3 episodes, you just get little flashbacks of him picking the other people up. But they're already integrated, so it's done.
Yeah. Jessica Jones come in, everyone goes, way! Then Luke Cage goes in, everyone goes, way! And then Danny Rand comes in, and everyone goes, oh, shit.
You know, in the Muppets, and I know this, I'm going off on a tangent again.
Go on, that's what we do.
So, in the Muppets, when they did the first revival film with Jason Segel.
Yeah.
When
Jason Segel.
Yeah. That's because of
Steven Seagal.
Seagal.
Different actor.
Anyway.
Very different movie.
Anyway, when they do the comeback thing and they're collecting everybody on the way.
Yeah.
And the dog, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
Ralph. He goes, why don't you do my story of how and he goes, we're doing a comeback, you want to join us? And he goes, okay.
That'll be it.
I was like, classic. Like that kind of thing. It'd just be dead funny. Yeah. Like loads of people having a really good, and then even if it was Iron Fist, and they're just like, we've got some work for you to do. we need an extra pair of hands. Do you want to?
Exactly, yeah. You can wear a red shirt. Do you know, but again, right, it was a cracking season.
It was.
It was slow, but purposely slow. It was
slow but paceful. That's the thing. It wasn't.
Things moved a lot quicker than I thought they would, but then I think now that we've got to the end, I think it was a really slow setup because we were only saying a couple of weeks ago, like Muse is gone already.
Yeah.
Hector's dead already.
Yeah.
It was moving quick from that perspective, but it was quickly laying out the groundwork.
Because what we
Infinity
thought
War
was the big picture was just a fragment.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that's what the change has been.
Yeah.
It's actually a much bigger scale than we were expecting, which I like.
Yeah.
So
it was mega. So, in my opinion, anyway. So, this is on you. Question for every time we get to the end of the series: did it live up to the hype?
100%.
I 100% agree. Yeah,
I really think it did.
I to a degree, I don't know if I can fault it.
No.
I think it was, now that I've got to the end, maybe certain episodes I would have been like, oh, change that. I think now that I've got to the end, I'm just happy with it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, like, it didn't go as quick as you wanted it to, but as long as they pull off season 2 well, and it all was worth it, spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely great. Enjoyed it. Done.
I kind of put it up there with WandaVision.
Oh, I do.
Like right at the top.
I definitely do, yeah. This is
I'd,
one of the best Marvel.
I'd probably say I'd put it higher than Loki, and I loved Loki.
Yeah. See, but maybe this is going to be really controversial. I think if you went back, I reckon if you gave it a year and you watched both of these, you watched WandaVision and Daredevil, I think I'd put Daredevil above it.
Would you?
Yeah, because I think WandaVision was, part of the hook of WandaVision was at the time the theories and everything like that. We started a podcast off the back of it, you know what I mean? Because of all the theories that everyone was putting out. And it was a good show, but I think it relied on that. And maybe I'm only talking about maybe watching first time. Yeah, WandaVision was better, and then rewatchability. Daredevil series 1, Born Again series 1 to be better, but it's there. It's on. It's 100% on a par with it.
Yeah,
great. And which again, to get something that's got us going rather than was it better than She-Hulk? We're sitting here talking about was this Marvel television show as good as iconically the best.
Yeah.
Loki and WandaVision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Great. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. We're doing all right here. I'm not asleep yet. Beer's still mildly cold. Let's do the other big show of this week. Let's do The Last of Us Season 2 premiere. Future Days, it was called. We again, we'll do a recap. What did you think in general? Did you enjoy it?
Loved it, yeah.
Did you... I'm not going to compare it to Daredevil, but...
Loved it, but was confused as hell.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good how it just went straight in.
Yeah.
But then I watched it with Jill,
and I felt too straight in, and I was like, what have I missed?
I've not played the second game. I know what happens. We're not going to spoil anything.
I only got to the school in the first game, so I literally was...
I've played the first game 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah.
So I know it. Do you know what I mean? And it changed a little bit, but I know the gist of what happened in the first series very, very well. But I was sitting there watching it with Jill, having to explain who that was, why she's annoyed with him, what he did. I'm like, he's gonna tell her what he did, and she's like, what did he do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we found out that that's not even it, is it?
What's not even it?
That's not even why she's mad at him,
isn't it?
No.
What? We'll get there. What?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit.
Okay, that's fine. Right, let's do the recap. So, like we just said,
I'm absolutely questioning myself now.
Okay, no,
but I'm
fine.
certain.
This isn't something you've read from a future episode?
No.
Okay, sound. So, we start off, like we said, straight where season 1 finished. Basically, them two in the forest and her saying, swear to me. Swear to me that you're telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Which we saw at the end of series 1.
Yeah.
But then we meet the remaining Fireflies. Led by Abby, played by Caitlin Dever, and there's some other familiar faces amongst them. So it's apologies if I pronounce it wrong. Tati Gabriel is playing a character called Nora. She's from Sabrina and You.
Okay, yeah.
So she was there, and then Danny Ramirez, Joaquin from Falcon, on New Falcon was there. I was like, what? How? Yeah, okay. I didn't expect
Change
him.
Of pace.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to be there at all.
Yeah.
So he's playing a character called Manny, and we basically find out. It doesn't go into huge detail as to why, but we get the gist of it. Abby wants revenge.
Yeah.
She is after Joel.
Yeah.
She says, we'll sort what we have to sort out, but I need to kill this guy.
Yeah, they were basically saying we need to recoup first before we can do anything.
Yeah.
Because if we go in now as we are, we'll be dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's more important things to look after.
Yeah.
But the dude who's with her basically promises and says, we will, once we've done what we need to do, I'll help you. Yeah. And she's like, and we'll kill him, won't we? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, slowly. This dude's got to suffer. Yes. Okay. Right, this, again, I've not played the second game. I know what happens, though. I know where it goes. I know the major story beats.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, though. This is a big departure from the game in that she's a playable character in the game. And I don't know if you start the game as her.
Yeah.
And I think in the game, she's after somebody, but you don't know it's Joel.
Right, okay.
So she's put across as like a hero, and then you find out, I think, that she's the villain.
Right, okay.
So,
that's quite cool.
It's a big departure for them just to be going straight in with like she's the baddie basically for the series. But it is what it is. You've got to pace things differently.
Was that why people? I'm actually not going to ask that question because if
don't ask anything, don't go online, don't do anything.
Frightened.
No, she was
because I was going to say, was that the twist that you thought that she was on side and then it? But I feel
I'm
like
not going to respond in the slightest.
Yeah, I was going to say I feel like I'll open a can of worms and I'm scared.
Yeah. So so don't do anything. Okay. I think that there's a number of big things that happen in the game, and I think something big is probably gonna happen in the next episode.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
But I think it's gonna move quick. That's what I'm going with. It's already moving quick. We found out her motivation basically.
Yeah.
First 2 minutes of the show, it's gonna move quick.
Okay.
Time jump.
5 years.
We all love a time jump. Loads of time jumps in The Last of Us. We're now 25 years later than episode 1 of The Last of Us, and they are basically back in Wyoming with Tommy at the village that's all got big walls on it. Basically Alexandria,
which gives such a country and western type.
Oh, it's good, isn't it? I love it. I love it. So there's this huge tension between Joel and Ellie.
Yeah.
But I didn't think we knew why.
I automatically thought it was going to be she's found out what he did.
I didn't think she's found out what he did. I think she just suspects him.
No, it's something else.
What? Okay, what did you?
I don't know what it is, but it's. I think when I was reading it, it just says it's not what you think it is.
Okay, that's fine.
Which
I don't know what it is.
Absolutely cool with.
Okay, yeah, okay. I thought you were going to tell me it's this.
No.
Okay.
I'd never do that.
Stop reading things. I thought.
I know. That's what I did stop reading.
I thought I'd missed something in this episode.
Oh no.
No, I was like, how? What? How?
No. Well, so because I got confused, I read a review of that episode, but then in the review he started talking about flashbacks and stuff, and I was like,
there are going to be flashbacks in this, yeah.
But I was like, we haven't had any flashbacks, so
no.
I thought we had a double episode starter.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
I don't think
did I forget to watch episode 2?
I mean, we might have, and
could you imagine?
Everyone's sitting
I'm
there
pretty
going,
certain we haven't.
No, we didn't.
But I was like, have I missed
if
was
we
it a
did,
two-parter?
we'll catch up next episode.
Could you imagine?
Maybe, or we'll be a week behind for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, it started talking about the flashbacks, and I was like, what flashbacks?
No, yeah, I think
I was worried I'd missed something, so I was like, stop reading because I might spoil it for myself.
Yeah. So I think I put it. I sort of got onto it. Not got onto it, but I thought it was she suspects he's lying, but she's pissed off that he won't admit that she's lying. That's what I read it as. But yeah, maybe that's not it. She also wants to be super independent, so we see it. We see it throughout the episode. The conversation with Tommy, where she's like, "I don't want to sit on the gate. I want to go out and do a recon mission."
Yeah.
The fighting at the start.
Yeah.
And then we see it in the actual recon mission, and then at the party at the end.
That was good.
Yeah, she doesn't want help at all. I don't know whether she doesn't want help from Joel, or she doesn't want help at all. But I get the impression it's just she doesn't want help from anybody, because when you find out
she wants to be completely self-sufficient.
Yeah, like because when she finds out that the dude at the start pulled a punch,
she was furious.
Yeah, she was not happy. She's like, I want to be able to take a punch, basically, and she can't.
I'm wondering. So
she might be able to, but
you know what?
They didn't think she could.
For me, I'm wondering whether it's because of the fight scene in
with the dude in the
the
cannibal,
bar when it was
cannibal priest rapist.
Yeah. I was
everything,
say when it was a bit rapey.
Everything. Everything. All the evil stuff you can do wrapped up into one character.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I was wondering whether
like Dying Fist
it's like her PTSD from that.
Yeah.
And she's like,
she wants
Joel's
to be ready for anything.
Because the way she screamed when Joel grabbed her. Do you remember?
Oh yeah,
that was hard watch.
In series 1.
That was that was a really hard watch.
Yeah. Great, though.
I know. So I'm wondering whether this is her going, I don't want to be that person ever again.
Yeah.
I want to know that I can fight my way out if I need to.
Yeah, and I think that's probably it. Yeah, and probably again a little bit of the reason why there's that animosity between the two of them, because Joel's got his own shit going on at the same time, and it's heavily pushing the narrative that his only priority is protecting Ellie.
Yeah.
Potentially the community as well.
Yeah.
But I think, again...
But Ellie comes first.
Oh, Ellie is just 100% his priority at this stage. Probably because he loves her, and he calls her like his daughter at some point, doesn't he? Like, your kid and all that sort of stuff. And Caroline O'Hara, is that her name?
Catherine
O'Hara is like, she's not. We'll get to that scene in a minute.
By the way.
But... He will basically... I think he's also trying to go, well, if I've murdered all these people to protect her, I need to protect her. Yeah. I can't have murdered all these people
for nothing,
and then she goes out and gets eaten by a clicker. Do you know what I mean? It's got to mean something, basically. So it's pushing that narrative, even to the point where he's hesitant about letting anybody else into the town.
Yeah.
Even though, again, they're like, well, you were a refugee at some point. He just doesn't. But
then again, how many times were they manipulated throughout the first season by other people.
Yeah.
This is the thing, and this is again another thing that I like about The Last of Us. Yes, there are clickers, and yes, that's a big part of the story. Yeah. But it's not the center of the story.
That's why
Walking Dead was so Dead. Yeah.
Because it wasn't just zombies. And this is zombies essentially, and we'll get to the bigger threat of zombies further down. But so again, something else that shows, I think, very subtly that he will do anything to protect Ellie is this therapy session with Catherine O'Hara, because she said, which is basically Gail, her character is, he killed her husband.
Yeah.
Which I assume he'd been bitten.
I'm assuming
and
that.
he's just been like,
but she's literally
it's a
said
threat.
To him,
bang.
The way you did it.
Yeah, just no hesitation, I assume.
Well, that's what I've gone down the route of.
If we're getting flashbacks, we've got to get that as a flashback.
Yeah.
That scene,
she was amazing in that scene.
They both acted their asses off.
Yeah.
I've only seen her in a comedic role.
Yeah.
Home Alone, Beetlejuice. I didn't watch all of Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek,
Schitt's Creek was.
It was.
Batshit crazy though. To be fair,
no, but I could. Right, even though I only watched the first half of the first series, I could see her having a few serious moments in it. Tell me, I might be completely wrong.
Yeah, she did, but not many.
But it's gonna be like few and far between when it's like acting from the heart, or character speaking from the heart. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But
it was another level for this.
She was good in this.
She was very good.
I thought she's just gonna be. When we found out she was in
it, comic relief. Yeah.
No. And then when it's the therapy sessions, it's going to be like, right, okay, I get where these therapy sessions are going to go. She's going to be the sarky therapist, but...
And she absolutely wasn't.
No, this was like...
And then when she was literally like, I fucking hate you.
I hate you.
I was like, oh my God, this is deep and I love it.
Good. It was great.
And then she's just like, but I've got my professional head on, so I'm working through my shit.
Yes. So let's work through your shit.
Yeah.
And he was so close.
And he was so close to saying.
He was so close to saying it. But I still think that.
But it was like literally the tears in his eyes and everything. Like that scene.
Yeah.
Like as somebody who does like stage work and stuff like that, like watching them two bounce off each other in that scene was just a phenomenal piece of acting.
And it was justified what he did.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then I think it's that if it had just been a load of people were trying to kill her, so I murdered them all, that's dead easy. The thing that's holding him back is I could have saved everybody.
Yeah.
If I'd let them do it.
Yeah.
Yes, she would have been dead, but we could have potentially saved the world.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's holding him back from just going, this is what I did.
Yeah.
But it's like he can't even get to that. He could have started with they were trying to kill her, so I killed a load of people, and then gone from there.
But if he'd have done that, would her husband have ever died? And that's probably in his
think of that.
And that's probably in his head.
Yeah.
So if he turned around to her and said, 5 years ago I could have gotten us a cure, and I chose this girl over that, and she goes, so my husband's now died for nothing.
I didn't think of that.
There's so many ramifications the longer it's going on as well. Every death in between that point and these 5 years later is now a direct consequence of him not allowing that to happen.
The fact that they're still living in this shanty town, the fact that there's refugees at the walls who they're not letting in and all that sort of stuff, the fact that people are still going out and getting bitten. It's on him.
So it gets heavier. But it might not have even worked.
But there's just so much to it. No, I get that. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's just so good.
There's a lot at play, isn't there?
Yeah,
there's a lot at play. Another new character that we get is Dina, played by Isabella Merced.
Yeah,
she's great.
She's brilliant.
I love her. Yeah, she's been in a few things. I think she's going to be in the new Superman. She's Hawk Girl. The new Superman movie. She was Dora the Explorer. I've not seen Dora the Explorer.
Is that who she was?
She's Dora the Explorer, yeah. I saw her in Transformers.
Can you say clicker?
She's dead good, though. She's dead good. She stole every scene. And I like the fact that even we love her. I think most of the audience will just love her straight away. Even though Joel clearly doesn't like anybody else, he likes her. That's the sort of character she is. He doesn't care about anybody in the slightest apart from Ellie. I mean, like his nephew and his brother and stuff like that. But apart from that, it's like, she's good. I like her. Yeah, she's entertaining.
Oh, and we also in the middle of the episode.
Okay.
The pipes.
Yes, we saw the pipes, yeah. So we ended with the pipes as well.
What are they called?
Cordyceps.
I keep going to say it with an F instead of a C.
So, middle of the episode, the cordyceps are
wiggling through the pipes.
Yeah, but I don't think they're wiggling through the pipes. I think they're dead in the pipes. They've gone in the... that's how I saw it. I read it. That's why they've left pipes open with cordyceps sticking out of it, because these cordyceps are dead. They flooded it, but they're not attached to anything anymore. Right. So that's why they can just leave these cracked pipes sitting there with cordyceps sticking out. It's not a threat until the end of the episode, basically.
Okay.
So... Going back to Dina then, so the recon mission with her and Ellie, I loved the whole thing.
Was that before or after the dance?
Before the dance.
Okay.
Yeah. So the recon mission, they basically bugger off from the team.
Yeah.
They find this bear that's been ripped to pieces.
Yeah.
It's taken out a fair
few.
That
looked so good.
It's taken out a few clickers, but it's been mauled basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are just after like a bit of adventure. Neither of them want to be told you've got to stay there. They both want to be independent.
Yeah.
The whole figuring out the plan without talking to each other was mega.
Yeah.
Where they're like, and all that sort of stuff.
I was laughing.
It was so good. The whole thing.
Yeah.
The killing the clicker, the pair of them killing one each.
And it's really funny because we literally said in Daredevil about the stabbing.
Yeah.
She was doing that in the neck of the clicker, and it was really, really good.
It was boss. And then Ellie falls down to this room.
I did not expect that whatsoever.
What, the fall?
Yeah.
No, I didn't either, to be fair. I thought this was all going to get done now. Or if someone's going to attack, it's going to attack from behind, or they're going to get outside and the three people they left outside will have all been murdered.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew something else was going to happen. I just didn't see this happening.
I think it was because normally you go, yeah, I'm fine. And then there's like a second.
Yeah.
And then it happens. Whereas she was literally still talking. So that absolutely caught me by surprise because, as I say, there's that little build of tension before something actually happens.
The safety.
So I like the fact that there was no safety net there. It was just thrown straight into it.
So she falls into this room underneath.
Yeah.
And this is where we see...
Can I just say, what? As somebody who had not seen a stalker yet.
That's what they're called, stalkers. Yeah.
I thought... It was a baby.
Like a baby infected.
So, you know, when you saw it crawling, I was like, oh no, a baby clicker.
Well, like they've been breeding.
No, I just thought it was like a baby that had been bitten. And so, like, I was like, oh my God, this one, I was like, she's going to find this hard to kill because it's a baby.
Yeah.
And then it absolutely went.
Is it bad that I don't think she'd find that hard to kill at this latest?
Well,
she'd just pop it in the head.
I thought for a minute she might, but then it just wasn't that at all.
Was it a little girl, though?
Well, she looked small, but then by the time she actually attacked her, she looked a lot older.
Bigger than her, I know what you mean, yeah.
So I didn't really get that bit, but it was still very, very good.
So we didn't see stalkers in the first season.
No.
But they were in the first game.
Yes.
But there's usually loads of them, like 3 or 4, all at the same time, and they kind of surround you. They're not quiet in the game. But the noise that it was making was perfect.
But they also do come out of nowhere.
No, I know they do, yeah. They circle you, they flank you, basically. Yeah. They're a pain in the arse in the game.
Well, me and Josh were watching this together. Josh screamed, and it was really funny.
Did he?
Yeah.
So,
but he's played both games as well, so as soon as he saw in the background, he knew what it was.
Yeah.
And he was onto it.
I just couldn't remember the name of it.
Whereas me, I'm thinking Baby from Trainspotting or something like that.
Baby clicker, stalker, same thing. Smart, though.
Yeah,
which I think is why they've waited until this series, because it's like, let's get
which I think is a great move,
slightly different.
Because the thing is, again, you know, we got the clicker in the first season, which was brilliant. The way they introduced the clicker, and then you also had the big blob, which was the one that was in the school in the game? Yeah,
that's the one that was in the school and came out. That's the end
because that's all I got up to, so I didn't see the big blob in the game. So I like the fact that they are staggering the introduction of the different types.
Yeah, you don't need to just go in all guns blazing, otherwise it's like, where are you going to go from there?
Exactly.
It's when you start making stuff up then and all that sort of stuff.
But I like this whole stalker thing now.
It was good. And again, it bites her.
Yeah.
Which isn't a threat. No. Obviously, we know that. But do you not think it was a bit weird how no one... I just thought, if you've been attacked by something, are you just going to trust the fact that she's not been bit?
Well, this is why she stabbed. She used a knife, didn't she?
Yeah, I know, but
I know this was later, but it was because she was with her mate.
I know.
That point,
I just think somebody would have checked them when they come back from a recon mission.
But I sat there and I said, do you know what I would have done if I was already going to be stabbing myself with a knife to kind of make it look not like teeth marks?
Yeah,
I'd have put a third one in there.
Or would you?
Yeah. So, like, because you've still got that shape, I'd have just thrown a third one in so it looks like a scratch
when she fell through the ceiling.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Just so that it wasn't just two in an oval shape that looked like a mouth.
I did think when she got bit, there was like a little bit of cordyceps sticking out, like wiggling its way in. I was like, get it out.
Yeah.
And it was still there when she caught. No, but I was like, just rip it out. And I know she can't get infected, so she's not bothered by it, but still just thought, that's minging, just take it out, just in case.
Yeah.
What if you're not immune anymore, or do you know what I mean? Or if it was just like...
It was a one-off.
Imagine if it was just purely a one-off. Yeah. Because she doesn't know.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't know what's going on in her brain or the fact that it's all working in there. So, yeah, very cocky. Very cocky.
Indeed.
We got this council meeting then, which...
I loved that, though.
I liked it, yeah.
Because it was
some
kind
sort of
like,
organisation.
It was kind of like their punishment for the fact that they've gone off on a tangent, but then it's also kind of a report. It's like a debrief on the fact that they've now identified a potential new threat.
Exactly, yeah. So it is basically it's going to be smart infected. That's what it is.
And I love that they could see through the pair of them.
Yes,
she was like, she absolutely wasn't there.
She didn't see it.
Yeah,
she did. I believe her. Basically, yeah. No, I like that. So we're going to just get rather than just big herds of walkers like we did in Walking Dead. Yeah, they're going to be able to plan.
Yeah.
I don't think they all will. I don't think we're going to get 1,000 stalkers.
No.
I think we're going to get a huge herd of infected clickers, that sort of thing. A couple of the blob things, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stalkers who can herd them to the right direction. Do you know what I mean? So it is a proper threat.
It kind of gives me a little bit of the Whisperer vibes from Walking Dead.
I didn't get that far.
Didn't you?
No.
So the Whisperers...
many people did, to be fair.
They kind of guided the hordes...
dressed up
in
as
certain directions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see it being that way. I can see it being that. Yeah, we'll come back to this though, because about the herds and stuff. So we have this New Year's party.
Yes,
and there's this which I believe is just like shot for shot the game.
Is it
this dance between Dina and Ellie?
Yeah,
that's a relationship starting in the series, I assume. Yeah, that's fine. Because I didn't know where it was going with her. She was just.
I actually really loved that whole scene.
No, I did. I think it was really good. I just didn't know it was.
I mean, like
going that way.
The actual writing of it as well. So,
every guy.
She's like
jealous.
every guy's staring at you, and then
yeah.
And then she's like, they've got nothing to be jealous of, and she was like,
yeah. No, it was really well.
It was just the gentle whisper in her ear, and I thought, this is actually very, very hot.
100%. But do you know what's really good about that?
What?
Again, I've not played it, but I've been told by multiple people that was shot for shot, line for line, the game.
Amazing.
So that quality of writing, coming from a computer game. This is why there's such well-regarded computer games. But that's not TV show or movie writing. That is computer game writing.
The thing that makes most people enjoy your computer games is a good story that you're invested in. You want to get to the end because you want to know what happens.
Sometimes I'd rather play these games on just the easy mode, just to get just get the story out of it, 100%. And then maybe do a replay in a harder mode. But it's about the story now with games, not just Sonic fighting Robotnik 12 times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That might sound stupid, but that's what it is. You play it. You play it for the story. You play God of War for the story, and the gameplay is great as well. You've got to have good gameplay as well, but they go hand in hand. But to have something of this quality coming from computer game writers is mega. So the scene ends with this absolute muppet calling them a pair of dykes. Joel stepping in. I was just like, well done, Joel.
I was like, well done, Joel. And then I knew that was what her reaction was going to be.
I knew she wasn't going to be happy with it.
I knew she was going to be
furious.
But
I don't think she was. And again, unless we find out some really bad reason as to why she's not happy with him. And I know there's that animosity. And even if she suspects that he's done something that she's not telling him, and she wants her independence, the way I read that scene was, you might be upset with him for X, Y, Z, and you're just being a 19-year-old, but he's stepped in there. Some guy's gone completely across the line, and he's stepped in to protect you. You've got to give him this one. That was my reading of it, and she didn't.
The fact that Catherine O'Hara was sat there and there was a whole point of the camera pointing to her, watching this unfold, is so important, and I have no idea why.
No,
yet,
I know what you mean.
But I really want to know.
I know what you mean.
And I just loved it. I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, the whole scene was great.
Yeah.
So we went back outside. Joel's back at the... Is this where Joel's back at the house playing the guitar? And we see Ellie come back? Or is that later?
Yes.
Yeah. And then she just goes straight into the garage. And then we see somebody walking past the dead cordyceps.
Yeah.
And he drops the sparkler on the floor next to it. Yeah. Which kind of like wakes it up or brings it back to life.
Yeah. Oh, is that what happened?
I think that's what's happened. I might be wrong. Okay. I just can't see that a load of people would just be sat there with a load of cordyceps just sticking out the ground and not burning it or getting rid of it or something like that. So I assume the sparkler has woke it up in some way.
So was it the heat?
Potentially, yeah. Like not
rather
too,
than the noise, because
I think it's icy cold.
Yeah.
It's icy cold, and it's probably maybe just not being able to cope.
I'm wondering whether it's the heat or the light, maybe.
Either, yeah, could be. Might be completely wrong, mate. But that's how I read it.
Yeah.
So it pans out, and I got really confused for a second because I thought, right, we kind of like followed the cordyceps out. We'd had this. There's this bigger threat beyond the walls and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then we saw people walking through the trees with guns. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, the infected have got guns. But like a split second, I was like, they are organised. They've got sergeants and corporals and all that sort of stuff, and they're coming in. But it wasn't. No. So it was the Fireflies.
Yeah.
5 years taking them to catch up with Joel. At the start, she was like over 3 days behind him, and he's like, don't worry, we'll catch him up. Yeah, 5 years, and they've eventually caught up to Joel.
But they did turn around and be like, what do we know about him? Is he the Joe or Joel? It was shit. They did say it was like almost like a myth.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I kind of do get that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But they've caught up with him. They're there. They've caught up with him.
Quite
a fast progression. Moving quick.
Yeah, fast progression.
Yeah, it's moving quick. And that was the episode.
Yeah.
If you've played the game, you know where it's going next. If you don't play the game and you've just read it, you know where it's going next. General review though, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
I've completely back to form.
Waiting for this since the last series ended.
Yeah,
that I know we've talked about it, and now that we've talked about it, a lot actually happened in it, but not a lot happened.
That's my only niggle with it. It felt like it was a really quick episode. I know, like we had the recon mission and all that sort of stuff, and we've seen this stalker and all that.
Yeah,
I just think for a season premiere.
Yeah.
It needed to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But you've only got so many story beats that you can follow without making stuff up, basically.
But I feel like it's opened it with more questions than answers.
No, I do.
And I like that because now there's more stuff to work through, if that makes sense.
But I don't feel like there was enough of a hook. That's my only...
Do you not think?
I mean, I'm
absolutely obsessed to know what their beef is.
I just feel like for a season premiere... there needs to be some sort of something bigger. Yeah, it was great, and that's my. I'm being picky, but that's my only thing. There just needed to be something, in my opinion, slightly bigger than what we've got. Just making that scene with the stalker a little bit of a bigger scene, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I've got a feeling by the next episode we're going to get our first horde.
Oh, I do. I think
that's coming in the next episode.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be
when Abby arrives.
Do you reckon she's going to arrive with the horde?
I don't think she's going to be bringing the horde, but I could see the horde. Her arrive. It's a big town.
Seeing the horde happen, and she uses it as a
or it puts her off.
Being pragmatic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe they get there and they go, "Oh, right, wait, we're going to go in," and then the horde get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
because that's what's making.
Where are you? Right. I won't react. Okay. This is good. This is going to be good. Because I know what's happening.
Okay.
To a degree, and a lot of the listeners will know what's happening as well, but then some won't.
Yeah.
So what are your theories then going forward?
Okay.
And I won't react. I'll just sit drinking a beer.
I don't really know. So I mean, there is a spoiler that I have heard.
Okay.
About the whole game.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true or not because I've kind of just walked away from it and gone, maybe not.
Okay.
But also the fact that it's a TV series, they may go in a different direction anyway.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say what it is?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I probably know if it was real or not, but I don't know whether we want to. If it's a big spoiler,
I don't want to be right and spoil it for everybody. But so there's one big one that I'm aware of that would probably pretty abruptly end the series if that was the case.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because I don't know what they'd do or where they'd go from there.
Okay.
But I don't know that the TV series would do that anyway, so I don't know whether it's something that's going to...
That's fine.
But
that's fine. Well, I was going to say, a little bit of me was like, tell me after the show, but now I don't want to know.
But
I'll know if it's right, but I just want to see it.
Do you know what my theory in this season is? Either Abby's going to kill Tommy.
Okay.
To make him hurt.
Okay.
Or I think his nephew might get turned.
Oh, dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
When hasn't it been dark though?
No, it's very dark.
Do you know what I mean?
What about? Okay, no, I don't.
There was just that whole in the very first episode of season 2, and his nephew's sitting on his knee and he's doing all, and it's the only other person he's got this closeness to.
I know what you mean.
And I think it'd just send him spiraling.
Yeah, I could.
And I think it'd be good for the story because, again, like we've said, there's that whole guilt thing of people are still dying because this still exists because he saved Ellie.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And now his own nephew
and Tommy knows
dies because of it. Yeah. So that will change the entire relationship.
And it won't be a he's been ripped apart and eaten. It'll be a tiny little bite off a stalker.
Yeah,
and it'll be slowly turning, and it'll be if you'd let Ellie die, we would have had an antidote or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So, I don't want to kill the kid off.
No,
but do you know what I mean? Like, from a story perspective,
I also think that will develop them into not staying at the village the whole time.
Yeah, so that they're not sheltered the whole thing. They need
because that will get boring.
Yeah,
that will get very boring if they're staying there the entire time.
I could see when this horde gets here, it wipes out a large number of people.
Yeah.
And there's no one can stay in this village anymore.
There's just little niggly things that are being said that are making me think, okay, so that's going to get ruined. Like they were talking about how long it's taken them to build stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was said in this episode.
Yeah.
They made a point of saying we can't build fast enough. We haven't got...
There's nowhere for these refugees to go when they come in.
And things like that. So I think kind of flattening that entire village is going to spark a lot going forward. So, it's just all of these things.
How are you going to get a whole series of them all being sat there?
Yeah, the way he's got him sat on his knee and telling him he's going to teach him about how to lay pipes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then the whole thing about how long it's taken to build the village, it just seems like it's really feeding into the idea that
I could see that
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And my other thought was, I do think that if the nephew becomes a cordyceps, I think he will go missing. I don't think we'll see this slow thing.
You think we're going to get a Sophia?
Yeah, I think it's going to be that kind of thing, and we're going to find him turned.
Yeah, I could see that as well. No, but then,
and
I think from a story perspective, if it was a slow thing, it'd create that animosity between Tommy and Joel. But I don't think it would create the animosity between Tommy and Joel. I think it would be he'd be understanding, and he'd let slip to his wife, Rutina Wesley. It's Rutina Wesley plays her, isn't it?
Yeah.
And from True Blood, he'd let slip to the wife.
Yeah.
What? In passing. Oh God! If sometimes I sit there and I'm thinking, what if Joel had let Ellie die? And it'll slip out, and it'll be like, "What do you mean?" And it'll be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that'll be the hate.
Yeah.
But
do you reckon they would? Do you reckon they would try a second time for a blood transfusion of some form?
What from Ellie potentially? Yeah, potentially. Yeah, could happen.
Because last time they just did a syringe, didn't they?
What do you mean?
Well, they did it in the first season with that lad, the deaf lad, blind lad. No, what was he? He had something. He lost a sense. I can't remember which sense it was.
I don't remember this.
He was deaf. She was doing the comic book drawings with him and stuff, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And he turned in the night.
Yeah.
And they had to put bullets in him, and then he shot himself in the head, didn't he?
Why was she?
The big brother.
Yeah. And did she ask if we can do a blood transfusion?
She did it. She did it in the bedroom with him.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, to try and heal him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Because then she cried to Joel and said, I gave him some of my blood. I tried to...
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether they'll just turn around and go, maybe it wasn't enough blood last time. Maybe
we can try it.
Be a proper kind of transfusion type of thing to see if they... So if they go down the slow route, I could see it doing that.
Yeah, potentially.
Or otherwise it would just be they find him and he's already completely turned.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's my theory anyway.
Good starter.
Yeah.
Good start. Again, I just think it could have done with a little bit something else, but yeah, it was still solid completely. 2 absolutely epic episodes.
Good ender and a good starter.
It is fantastic. Yeah. Should we? We'll do pod fans in a bit. Let's do news. Feels weird doing news now.
Yeah, it feels.
It feels probably, it's dead late. It's dark outside now. We normally do the news right at the start. So, got a few bits of news. So, first thing, Spider-Man Brand New Day timeline placement. So this one comes from Richard Nebbins from the Direct.
Okay.
Our mate Richard. So, he's reported it anyway. So there's been loads of rumours and strong opinions about the setting for Spidey 4.
Yeah.
What it's going to be like. Some people want street level movie. Some people want multiversal. Some people want a bit of a mix of both. Plus, a lot of people have been talking about the fact that Tom Holland's chair was missing in the Avengers Doomsday announcement.
Yeah.
Loads of big names are missing from it, but obviously Tom Holland being one of the most prominent ones. Well, now Jeff Snyder from the Hot Mic has potentially shed some light on it, and he reckons the reason for the latter, for the chair being missing, is he said, I'm told that Spider-Man 4 is basically taking place at the same time, simultaneously, concurrently. That's 3 different ways of saying same time. Well done. I'm just quoting him. Alongside Doomsday, and that explains his absence. Okay. So it's not going to be, because I know we talked originally about it being Spider-Man being a direct sequel to Doomsday and it being set on Battleworld. Jeff Snyder now reckons it's going to be set at it's obviously going to come after, but it's going to be set at exactly the same time as
I've got a
Doomsday.
I've got a few niggles with this.
Okay,
right?
go on.
So first of all, from what
I've got a big problem with it, but we'll see if you say the same thing. From what I said last time
about Spider-Man, and I said to you about Toby and Andrew turning up
at the end.
Yes, would make sense.
100% that'd make sense.
So I'm still all for that.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
So we get Toby and Andrew in Doomsday,
street level until the last 10 minutes, and then
they go. We're gonna need more help.
Yeah.
Wong sends them through a ring. We don't know where they've gone.
Yeah.
End of Spider-Man. They pop through and go.
Spot on. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah.
My other thing now. We've just had a season of Daredevil.
Yeah.
We've just had Kingpin taking out the lights for an entire night.
Mm-hmm.
We've got him saying that vigilantes are now illegal.
Yeah. I know where you're going.
Well, Spidey's in New York.
I know, I know.
So
is Moon Knight.
What's happening?
I don't know. They can't use him without Sony's permission.
So, and then the other problem is, from what I've read, and tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think
I don't know, but I'll tell you
as far as I am aware, Kingpin cannot be used in the movies. He's only allowed to be used. He said something
about this.
Yeah, he's only allowed to be used in the TV series.
I don't get why that would be a thing.
I don't get why that would be a thing. It seems really unusual.
Spidey not being able to be used in anything else is, I get it. So he can't. So I
understand
Marvel
that Sony agreement.
They can only use him in short form animation. So they can't make an animated movie because Sony own the rights to that for the Spider-Verse. They can't use him live action at all. They can use him in up to 30-minute Spider-Man episodes. They've got the rights to that, which I assume is why he was in Invincible, because Marvel could give them the permission to do that because it's a short form animated feature, so they don't have to go to Sony, because I just don't get the impression Sony would have allowed it. Not saying Disney are like lovely and all that sort of stuff, but I would assume that permission's come from Disney. My understanding with Kingpin is that the rights to Kingpin were for movies and whatever were with 20th Century Fox, hence them making a Daredevil movie with Kingpin as a bad guy. And now those rights lie with Marvel. So I can't imagine why Fox could have used the direct.
Do they lie with Marvel, or do they lie with Sony?
No, Sony never owned it. It was Fox. Daredevil was 20th Century Fox.
No, I know Daredevil was.
Yeah, so
but the other thing that I'm finding out is the other thing that I've read recently is Kingpin is a Spider-Man villain.
He is
originally.
Both.
So does that mean it falls under Sony?
Don't know. But then how would Sony have then Well, Sony, back when Daredevil was made, already had the rights to Spider-Man.
This is the thing.
So how would they have used it unless 20th Century Fox paid Sony off to use the villain?
I had no idea.
Don't know. It's so messy.
It is messy.
It's so they just need to. It's the last piece of the puzzle just to get them pigging rights back from Sony.
And this is the thing. So,
it's not going to happen.
This is the thing, though. Sony's holding it, but aren't doing anything worth shit.
Well, I don't know. We haven't seen Madam Web yet. Or Craven. It might be good.
Apart from the animated stuff.
Oh yeah, it's Boss.
They've not done anything.
I know.
Venom's probably their most kind of successful.
I've not seen Venom 3 yet. I enjoy the Venom movies.
I enjoy the Venom movies.
They're shit.
They're not great, but I enjoy them.
They're not great. They're not.
But
they're good.
Yeah, no,
because they know they're crap. Yeah. That's the point. Whereas Morbius was trying to be good.
Yeah. And apparently Craven was trying to be good.
I can't wait to watch Craven. We'll talk about Madam Web, but we'll get
there. It just... Sony just needs... I feel like...
to fuck off.
I feel like they're on a sinking ship. They've got a bucket full of holes that they're trying to get the water out with.
Yeah.
Yet they're still looking over the way to Marvel going,
I know. It just
while they're sinking.
Honestly,
I just don't get it at all.
Wait, let them finish the Spider-Verse movies. Let them get that out, and then just buy the rights.
Yeah,
it's got it. I think you need to at this stage. We're running out of. I mean, it's getting better. Obviously, it's miles better, and I kind of feel Marvel's back, like we said. But
yeah,
a year ago they should have just bought Spider-Man and just done what they wanted with it. But yeah, we'll see. My biggest issue with this, with Spidey not being in Doomsday.
Yeah.
He's not going. So Tom Holland is not going to be in Doomsday clearly because he's in this.
Yeah.
And the other reason is he's doing this, the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
So he's filming that at the moment, which is again realistically why he's not filming Doomsday, because he's filming that. So we know he's not going to show up as like an alternate version of Peter Parker in that movie.
Can I just say
maybe a cameo?
It confuses me that he's not going to be in Doomsday, because to balance it out, he's probably going to be in Doomsday for 5 minutes. Total probably screen time.
Potentially.
If that's the case.
If anything.
But then Spidey 4's coming out literally like 3 months later.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, it's just schedules, isn't it? Doomsday's filming now.
But I feel like Spidey wouldn't be far behind on filming.
No, well, probably not, yeah.
So...
I don't know.
That's what I mean. Know. Like, none of it.
We've not got to my main issue.
Oh, sorry.
Right. There is a rumour, and I know no one knows this. So we know Robert Downey Jr. is back for Doomsday.
Yeah.
There are rumours that he's not going to be in Secret Wars. He's going to be Doomsday, and there's going to be something else in Secret Wars. How can you not have Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland?
Can you imagine if Robert Downey Jr. pulled his face off and it was another version of Kang?
But
and then it just became Secret Wars with Kang.
How can you not have
Robert?
Know. How can we have Doomsday with Robert? Whether he's in Secret Wars or not, how can we have Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. and no Tom Holland's Peter Parker? Yeah, maybe a really good payoff if they're both in Secret Wars, but it's just like...
Yeah,
I just don't... I don't like it. And it also would make the whole Doom changes his face to look like Robert Downey Jr., not Robert, Tony Stark, to mess with the Avengers.
Yeah.
None of the current Avengers give a shit.
No.
But Steve did.
Tom would have the biggest
Thor
response.
did. Yeah, Peter will. But I'm not really buying the fact... I'm not that they all hated Tony, but... None of them had that particular relation. Nobody in the current roster had that particular relationship. Nebula probably had the most of a relationship than anybody else.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I might even be right.
What if Doom?
I'm sure Jeff Snyder said it was going to be a sequel.
What if Doom turned up in Spidey 4?
Yeah, I could see that. Not being the big bad, but at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be him who drags him in.
Yeah.
Peter. I'm Tony from a different universe.
That's what I was thinking.
I need your help. Yes, Mr. Stark, I'm so happy to see you.
Guess through. And then he's like, tee-hee, it's really me!
Exactly. Yeah, I could see that. Sticking with Doomsday then. Right, we got these leaked photos from Doomsday.
Yeah.
And there's 3. And I use the term leaked really, really loosely. So there are 3 pictures.
Are these ones that you showed me?
Yeah. So
I think I only saw one.
So there's 3 out there.
Okay.
So there is, and we've done spoiler warning. If you really, really don't want anything ruined, pause now, skip forward 2 minutes. If you're still here. So we got one with James Marsden and Ian McKellen.
Yes, that's the one I saw.
Okay, so we got Cyclops and hang on, Magneto. There you go. That's not a spoiler. We know we know they're going to. It's been announced officially. We know they're going to be in it. We then got one with James Marsden and Benedict Wong.
Yes.
So we've got Cyclops and Wong.
Yeah.
potentially a spoiler, but it's not, is it? Because Wong's in everything.
Yeah.
And brilliantly. That's fine. We love Wong. We just need Madison with him.
Do love Wong, especially on karaoke.
Yes. I wonder where I was. You got me for a minute. I was like, what are we talking about? Have I fallen into some weird joke that I don't get? But no, yeah, that's fine. And then there's another one come out, which is apparently Robert Downey Jr. suited up as Doom / Iron Man / Odin that you said.
Oh, yeah.
Remember seeing the photo?
Yeah.
Right.
He did look like Odin.
There's no way the RDJ one is real.
No.
It can't be.
Do you reckon they're just feeding us red herrings now?
Yeah.
Because, if we think about it, if we go back kind of 10 years, not even 10 years now, but like the whole Infinity War with Hulk being there and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that the new shift to it is that we're finding things out too early.
Because of leaks.
Are they trying to put red herrings there so we don't know what to believe and what not to believe?
I hope so.
So that we're still shocked later.
I really, really hope so.
Yeah.
I hope that everything that's getting leaked is just crap.
Can I just, for a second, can you imagine if we got, in Secret Wars, the Matt Damon, Sam Neill, as those characters from...
Yeah.
As versions of them.
Oh my god, that'd be Megan and Luke Hemsworth as Thor.
Yeah,
yes.
And Melissa McCarthy as Helen.
Yes.
Running out like,
Yeah, that'd be mega. That it won't happen, but that would be
Wouldn't it be so
that
good?
That would be phenomenal. Yeah. But I kind of don't want us to go back to Taika.
No.
I just want...
No, but that...
I want Daredevil Born Again Thor. I don't want She-Hulk Thor. You've got to pick a lane, and I don't want that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I think that'd be dead good.
That would be cracking. That would be really good. I just think it wouldn't be the right tone, but yeah, it'd be really good. But yeah, I'm not buying any of the pictures. There's no like, it's one image. There's no other set photos.
Yeah.
Of come. There's a set photo of the set.
Yeah.
Which looks like the outside of the X-Men mansion.
Okay.
All trashed, basically.
Right.
But again, I hope it's wrong because the way I'm reading it at the moment,
the old one, or like a different looking one.
I think the old one. Maybe.
So it could be them being pulled out. If that's the case.
Realistically, I think they're all going to be dead in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
No.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. That's how I'm. Yeah.
Oh,
they
are really gutted if it's that quick.
All cannon fodder for Doom in the first 15 minutes.
I'll be really gutted if that
I will be. I'd love it all to be
a
a team up. I'd love it to be something like
not
we
even
said,
just a
Battle,
team up, just
Battleworld.
a little bit more of them than
just X-Men versus Avengers. That's what we want. Battleworld, Doom sets them up. X-Men versus Avengers. I'd rather have new X-Men, but this is good. Or maybe Doom just tests his first one and goes, no, they're rubbish. We're going to get a different set. We'll get a different set of X-Men, and then that brings in the new X-Men. Can you imagine getting to Doomsday and that's it? First 10 minutes, old X-Men are dead, and he goes and gets a different set of X-Men for somewhere else. We've got no idea who's playing them, and it's just, this is your new X-Men team of X-Men.
I mean, I like it, but I also hate it.
No, yeah. It feels too sudden.
I like it for them coming in. I don't like it for...
Kill them all apart from James Marsden and Alan Cummins. Just keep them.
Right, if anyone kills Ian McKellen, I am going to be so angry.
He's too old. We've already joked about Hugh Jackman doing this till you're 90. Ian McKellen's like 92.
I know.
Till you're 90.
Just send him off to a retirement home universe.
Yeah, okay.
Don't kill him.
Maybe there is one on Battleworld. You never know. Right, last bit of news then. Right, okay. And again, right, it's news, but we've all known this for weeks, but it's now been officially confirmed. So we now have an official announcement for 6 cast members for the Harry Potter HBO reboot. So all my notes have moved about because there's a picture, but I'll try and figure this out. I put notes next to names, and the names have moved. So we've got Nick Frost as Hagrid.
Yeah.
We've got John Lithgow as Dumbledore. Paul Whitehouse as Argus Filch. Phenomenal. And then we've got people I don't know. So we've got Luke Thallen as Quirinus Quirrell. I didn't know that was his first name. Professor Quirrell.
Yeah.
We've got Papa Essiedu as Severus Snape. And we've got Janet McTeer as Minerva McGonagall. I've really struggled to say that. I don't know why, So Luke Thallen, unknown.
So first, can I just say something? I don't know. I don't know that
What's
name.
the English version of Broadway?
West End.
West End, yeah.
I can't stop laughing at the meme that's been going around.
Which one?
When it's Dumbledore at the Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah.
And then they've played John Lithgow doing this scene from Shrek. Some of you may die.
Yeah, it's boss.
I was crying. I thought that was the best thing ever.
It fits so well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry.
What do we think?
Right, okay. I actually really like the John Lithgow. I wasn't sure about it at first. I've kind of come round to it. Now, the reason... Do you know why?
Okay.
So, I know... We've already talked about him being the Trinity Killer in Dexter.
Yes, he can do serious 100%.
And he can do serious very well. Yeah. But also, a lighter side to him. I'm not saying lighter as in comedy. Like, not such a heavy, dark character. Planet of the Apes.
Was he in Planet of the Apes?
He
was
Franco's
the
dad. Yeah.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And actually, I thought he was really good in that.
Yeah, he was, but...
No, I know, but I just think...
Didn't he have dementia? That's why he was trying to get the thing from Caesar.
I think people see John Lithgow as quite a comedic character because you've got Third Rock from the Sun, because you've got Lord Farquaad from Shrek and all of that kind of stuff.
Daddy's Home too.
Yeah. Like, it's all very silly. It's silly comedy.
That's not my issue with it.
Is it not?
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first thing was, I don't think a comedic actor is necessarily a bad thing for Dumbledore.
Do you know?
No, not as long as they can do a bit of serious. But it wouldn't. That's not what concerns me. And I'm not concerned. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know Luke Thallen. I don't know Papa Essiedu, and I don't know Janet McTeer. I know her from The Menu.
Right.
She's in The Menu.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the other two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what they can do. Sort of thing. Yeah. But none of this excites me. And that's what I said to you.
Filch excites me a little bit. I do think he's going to be brilliant.
I'll take that back. Paul White. Yeah. When I saw Paul Whitehouse's name, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the best bit of casting."
Students out of bed.
Absolutely mega. I am more than made up with that. Okay, but all due respect to Paul Whitehouse.
Yeah,
it's as excited as I am for that. The whole announcement just feels underwhelming. And as I said to you, I don't know who I was expecting.
Yeah.
But none of it's like, oh my god, person.
This is the thing. Harry Potter is going to be costly, and this is the route I'm going down. I don't think they, can afford to get big names. I don't think it's that they can't afford. I think that it'll just become too costly too quick. Because what you've got to remember as well, you're going to have 7 series of this.
I know.
Minimum.
Yeah. And as they get more famous... They're going
to push for bigger salaries. So I think that needs to be taken into account as well.
And you'll always get some knobhead who's going to get to Series 6 and go, well, you need me back for the story sort of thing. You know, you're going to have to give me money. The little Harry Potter, basically, who's being paid nothing to do Series 1 because he's 11. By the time he gets to 18, he's going to be like, I want £6 million per episode. So, there is that. I also think it's a bit of... They're all iconic roles.
Yeah.
They are. We've all grown up with them. Do you know what I mean? Literally, Harry Potter 1, I must have been like 12 when Harry Potter 1 came out. We've grown up with them all. We've all watched them 100 times.
Yeah.
So to have anybody else playing these characters... And I think big names are going to be a bit weary of it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I think... I wanted Oldman for
Miriam
Dumbledore.
Have you heard her interviews about Harry Potter?
No. Oh, she doesn't like it, does she?
She's like, it's for children.
Yeah, grow up. I know. No, because it's not. I know it's for children, but I was a child when it came out.
I was the same age.
And I grew up with it.
Yeah, I was the same age for 60% of the films that came out.
Yeah, and it's
I think the last 3, they took a bit longer, so I was a bit older, but
I know.
I still wasn't a million miles away from their age when they were coming out.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why it's so important to a lot of people as well, because you grow up with it. They were releasing a book every year, whether you watched the movies or whether you read the books first.
Yeah,
you grew up with it, so it was like you'd go. You know, there were some kids who went into year 7 and it was year 7, and then they went into year 8 and it was year 8. And
that was me.
They've gone through it. So
2001 was the first movie, and I was 11.
I did it with the books, basically. But that's why it's important at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because the books hadn't finished when the first film came out, had they? They were catching up.
Yeah.
So it's
they did catch up, because I was reading number 4.
Yeah.
And I think they started to overlap, and I was trying not to watch it before I'd finished the book.
Right. I see what you mean.
And then there was a bit more of a gap because that's when I read the 6th book because someone spoiled the book for me before.
I mean, it wasn't very good, the 6th book anyway, so you're all right.
I know, but
didn't like it.
I know, but the death was just.
Oh yeah. Somebody painted it on a bridge.
Did they?
Yeah. Somebody put it up on a bridge and like Runcorn. I'm sure it was one of the big bridge in Runcorn. Well, somebody basically put this huge thing up the morning the book came out. Dumbledore dies.
Oh my god,
it's mega.
Well, I went into school, and Liam Clark, I still remember that it was you.
He's not listening.
Walked in and said, "Dumbledore dies," and I was like, "Are you actually messing?"
And from that day on,
and I just read this book, and I was like, "I know it's coming now," and I was gutted. I was really gutted. You ruined it.
I think I knew as well because got off the news on the bridge. But yeah, it just feels like an underwhelming announcement.
Yeah.
Purely maybe because it's only 6 cast members and it's not the whole cast.
Yeah.
Maybe because we already knew worst kept
secrets. It's really
secrets.
funny. My who's Molly Weasley?
Yeah.
That's going to be that's going to be the casting for me that needs to be amazing. Otherwise, I'm going to be upset.
You don't need to cast Arthur yet. You just need to cast Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Julie Walters.
Who's going to? I said who's going to want
to?
Who's going to want to take on those roles?
Yeah.
Because if you balls it up, you're going to be the person who ruined. I don't know why I'm automatically going to Nick Frost. You're going to be the person who ruins Hagrid.
Yeah.
I love Nick Frost, but
well, he's had a bit of a bitchy response, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so disappointed in you to the fans and stuff like that.
I mean, don't give him all the time. I'm not buying. I mean, I suppose just sitting there going, don't comment on it. We're talking about it on a podcast. No one listens. I love Nick Frost.
I know you do.
He's been in some of my favourite movies.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz, the Cornetto trilogy are like some of my favourite movies.
Yeah,
I know them word for word. Nick Frost is phenomenal. I've watched most of his films.
The Cornetto trilogy. So is that Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead,
Hot Fuzz, and The World's End?
The World's End.
Yeah, there's a Cornetto in all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
I tried to
I've
get.
not heard it
I
like that
tried
before.
to get a Cornetto from the shop. I went to Wells where they filmed Hot Fuzz
Really?
on a Sunday afternoon. I went and the shop was shut.
Ah,
I was devastated. I was literally, when I knew we were going, I was like, Jill, I need to get a Cornetto from the shop. I have to. That was my goal in life, and I couldn't get one because it was shut. I'll go back.
Mate.
I'm just not. Yeah, Nick Frost. I'm just not. Hagrid Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Not seeing it, but hopefully they're all going to prove me wrong.
I can see it.
No, I can see it. I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
I just don't. I don't like it. I just don't. Yeah, I can see exactly what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully Nick Frost will prove it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a long episode.
That's the
longest episode we've done in a while. Before we do wrap up, let's do Hall of Heroes. So thanks to Podfans Assemble. We missed Podfans Assemble. Yes, right. Before we do Hall of Heroes, let's see what listeners think. Let's do Podfans Assemble.
I'm so sorry that it's taken us till now.
That's absolutely fine.
Bear with me 1 second.
This is what happens when you don't prep. I'll cut this out of the audio version.
Okay, so I'm going to do Daredevil Festival. So we asked, did the finale live up to the hype?
I've just realised I didn't tell Annie to change the question.
No, you didn't, and it really threw me for a second there, I'm not going to lie.
Sorry, keep you on your toes.
So we asked, did it live up to the hype? Let us know in the poll. We got 100%.
We got 100% yes on Daredevil. I saw this. Yeah. I kept going back and checking because the poll didn't finish until after we started recording.
Yeah,
so I didn't get like the notification that the poll was ended, and I kept going back and being like, there must be somebody who didn't like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%.
So
fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's usually people who pick at it, and I don't think.
Honestly, I thought we were going to get like 7% said no or something like that.
Yeah, I could see there being
100% yes is lovely.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Absolutely.
So we're just going to do a quick shout out to Shockwave who sent in a theory.
He did.
It was quite large, so we have kind of narrowed it down.
We've condensed it down a little bit. Yeah.
So basically, he thinks that Daniel Blake might actually be way more important than he seems, and could even be Fisk's secret son.
Okay.
The theory links him to a comics character called Brian Butch Faris.
Byron.
What did I just say? Brian.
Brian Badundy. Burr. Burr.
So, Byron Butch Farris.
Burr. Badundy.
All right. Fisk's illegitimate child.
Sorry.
Who ends up wanting a place in his father's empire.
Yeah.
In the show, Daniel could be following a similar path, idolising Fisk from afar, applying for a job under a fake name, and slowly working his way into the inner circle by playing the loyal yes man. I like that. There are some clever clues too. That Ivan the Terrible painting where Ivan's holding the son he just killed might be foreshadowing Daniel's fate. Okay.
I could see that. I could see it. The way the whole series has been. I could see it. Really subtle little hints.
That's so cool. Plus, the scene with Matt and Fisk asking each other if they have kids suddenly hits different if Fisk has a son he doesn't know about.
It does, it really
does. Defo.
Yeah.
The theory goes even deeper. Maybe Sheila finds out who Daniel really is, threatens to expose him, and that's what flips the switch. Said he could kill her. That'd be a perfect reason. Yeah. We see a darker side, and Daniel becomes fully wrapped up in Fisk's criminal world, possibly even becoming his new James Wesley.
Yes. See, I love it.
I really like that.
There's got to be something there. We couldn't put our fingers on it. This might not be it, but I like it. Yeah. It should be. If this isn't it, it should be it. Yeah. I'm on board with that.
We got a message from Ken. Daredevil Born Again series final episode was delicious in many ways and finally started to be the show we hoped it would be and become. And it is, in my opinion, definitely Born Again now. 9 out of 10.
Was mega.
9
out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
9 out of 10.
That's still high. Obviously.
So, we then had Matt who said Secret Invasion was terrible.
Yeah.
I was wondering where he's going with this. Daredevil was not. Let's put that out there first.
I can sense a book coming.
But like Secret Invasion, the premise they presented in the finale is more interesting than what they ran with in the season.
Okay.
The difference is Daredevil season was coherent, still interesting, and will pay off the finale, the premise, in a second season.
Yeah.
They had a lot of moving parts to get people and concepts where they needed to be. Let's hope they hit that ground running next season. Also, if he wants his own army, I know Frank and even Poindexter will be a part of that.
Yeah, see?
But there's no way he doesn't consider Luke, Jessica and Danny. Even if they don't show up due to storytelling, contracts availability, or whatever it might be, there has to at least be an exposition line of why. He'd want all hands on deck. It would be out of character for him not to think of them, even if it's something as simple as I can't get hold of them or they must have disappeared or something. I think that's the route he'd need to go down with Spider-Man as well. Because don't forget,
there's
Spider-Man's asked for Matt Murdock's help.
Yeah, because they mentioned him in episode 1, didn't they?
Yeah. One or two, and then obviously we'd had the meet in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
No Way Home.
But this is coming out in 2026.
I know.
Which is also when Spider-Man 4 is coming out.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man could have had him on board, and then all of a sudden he gets pulled by a portal through some dude with a metal mask on, and that's why Spider-Man's not there for the battle.
Yeah.
Fits. Jessica Jones is
100%
100% going to be in series 2.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, we spoiling it? Yeah,
the big thing at the moment is that apparently Daredevil this whole season has been between the events of the beginning of Brave New World and then the jump that they did. No, not Brave New World. Yeah, Brave New World. Captain America.
Was it a time jump in Brave New World?
I believe so.
Was it?
It was after the beginning of the movie, but before the end of the movie.
No shit.
No.
When else would it be?
Daredevil was after the beginning of...
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, there was a time jump in the movie and it happened sometime between the start and the end.
No.
Okay.
Daredevil.
Okay.
So apparently it's in the midst of the events of...
I have read that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, you made that hard work as soon as you read it.
Can I wait again? I'm spoiling it a little bit.
Upsetting me now.
Kristen Ritter, who plays Jessica Jones, has been posting on Instagram pictures of her and Charlie Cox.
Oh, really?
Together. Yeah. And we know Charlie Cox is filming Daredevil at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, I would assume she's going to be in it.
Okay. So then we also asked, did the last of us season premiere live up to the hype? We had 81% say yes, and we had 19% say no.
Okay.
And I get that with how it started up. I do understand.
Yeah, great, but lacking something.
Yeah. Geeky Nate said, while I still feel last episode was a perfect season finale, this episode really sets up season 2, and I can't wait to see where it goes. My hope is that we get... I've read the wrong thing.
What do you mean? What have you read?
This is a Daredevil one.
Is it? Sorry, that's my fault.
I absolutely hate my life.
That's fine.
No, it's because you started with sets up season 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I've just gone into that's obviously that one. Sorry.
No,
so the last Daredevil one we've got is Geeky Nate said, while I still feel like the last episode was a perfect season finale, this episode sets up season 2 and I can't wait to see where it goes. My hope is that we get the Defenders back. That's where I knew I'd gone wrong then.
Or they just rock up to Wyoming. Take out Abby. Can you come and help us fight some Kingpin?
But also other NY heroes like Spider-Man or Kate Bishop. Probably a pipe dream, but he is hoping.
Kate Bishop. I could see it being Kate Bishop.
I could see it being Kate Bishop.
Just don't bring all the Young Avengers in. Don't do it. No, I don't want Miss. I love Miss Marvel.
I love Miss Marvel.
She's phenomenal.
But it's
She's
a world
amazing.
Away from what this tone is.
You can get away with Kate Bishop.
Thing.
I don't want Ms. Marvel and what's his face from Agatha. Wiccan and Ghost Agatha talking to him and all. No, I'm out.
What about Alligator Loki?
I'm alright with that. Yeah. weirdly, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so apologies.
Is this definitely The Last of Us now?
No. Movies for Real also said this felt like a little extra to set up season 2. It's confused me because of season 1 and season 2, which is fine because with what they gave us was so awesome. The Daredevil and Punisher taking down the cops was one of the best Daredevil moments. Can't wait for the Punisher special episode. Plus Daredevil said the thing at the end.
He did say the thing at the end.
He did say the thing at the end.
This city is a city without fear or something.
Yeah.
That was it, I think.
Right. So now, The Last of Us season premiere.
Yeah.
So we had the 81% yes, 19% no.
Yeah.
Movies for Real also commented on this one for us.
Okay, yeah.
And said, I actually really liked it as someone who criticises the second game a lot for how the story is structured. With them giving us Abby's motivation right away is a great change.
Yes.
And excited to see what changes they make. I think maybe because everyone's expecting that twist that have played it before, I think the fact that they've brought it in and gone, surprise, we already know.
It's making you think that something else that
they
might happen in the game might not happen.
Yeah.
Or they could do, I don't want to say it in case it's
a double jeopardy.
Or they could do a huge twist on what happens in the second game.
Whatever that twist is, because I still don't know.
Okay, well, the thing that you think you've read.
Right, okay.
If it's, I think I know, but I don't want to say it just in case it's not.
Yeah.
But imagine if they did that differently.
Okay.
It might make no sense.
I don't know what you're saying.
That's fine. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe you don't know, though.
Pedro Pascal fan said, I enjoyed it, emotions and all. Can we agree teenagers are the assholes, not Joel?
Yeah. Yeah, I said this.
Listen, it's what I've always said in almost every horror movie ever.
What, teenagers are crap?
Kids are absolute knobheads.
Yeah,
they ruin everything.
I can't say anything. I've got 2 kids.
No, but they do.
Jill will kick off.
Listen, the thing is, though...
Love you, kids.
They fall, they ignore,
they
do something stupid.
Yes, they get cocky.
And then they're the ones that end up causing everybody to die because they have to try and save the kid.
Exactly.
And then they die in the process.
Yeah.
So I absolutely 100% agree.
Okay.
I feel quite strongly about that one.
Okay.
I need to reel it in a bit.
But not Dina or Ellie because I like them. The rest of
there have been a few exceptions over the years. Halloween. When Halloween came back, the kid who was being babysat, my favourite character in the whole thing.
Can't remember.
Do you not remember him?
No.
He was the best kid in a horror movie ever.
No, I don't.
Absolutely.
I remember the third
He had the
one being
babysitter,
crap.
didn't he? And he was saying, like, watch out for the monsters. And we all thought that he was going to be there, and then he wasn't. But then he was.
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay, anyway. Simply Genevieve said, for the first episode, it was great as I expected it.
Yeah.
But Abby is already scaring me, even though we have only seen her for 2 minutes. She wants revenge.
She does. She's going to be good.
Ken gave us another comment as well. If you've played the games, they have played with the timeline a little bit, but boy, is it eerily like the game. The dance sequence is almost shot for shot the same.
There you go.
If you ask me, this is just as excellent as season 1 was. 8 out of 10.
Mega.
And that's everybody.
Is that us?
Yeah, I haven't missed out anybody. I haven't done the wrong thing for anybody else. That was a massive cock-up. I apologise.
It was.
I'll send my letter of resignation in.
No, because who else am I going to do it with? Just talking to myself. I'll see if I can find somebody else. Anyway. Now taking applications.
That was heavy, that.
It was a little bit dark on it.
Anyway,
Thank you guys. Thanks for sending your messages. Can we do Hall of Heroes now, really?
Yeah.
Hall of Heroes, well done. Right, so before we wrap up, we'll do it. Thanks to Kenneth, Jesse, Geeky Nate, Richard, Avid Gamer, Michael, and Sheldon for supporting the show via Patreon. Patrons get exclusive access to our bonus podcast, Beyond the Hype, with new episodes every month. This month, oh God, we've got to do this like this weekend. We are doing a bad movie breakdown of Madam Web, which will basically be a full live commentary, followed by the shortest review ever, because I already know I want to forget it, even though I've not seen it. But yeah, we've literally not seen this yet.
No.
Nothing. I kind of know.
I don't know anything.
Do you know what? I think I know tiny little bits, but
don't know anything.
Just from the trailer. But I don't know. I don't even know what the general story is. I know people hated it. That's probably enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be doing that this month. Probably this week at some point. We'll have to record that because it's getting on. If you want to check that out and support the show, head over to patreon.com/heroesandhype or hit the link in the description. Yep. Other than that, though, thanks for listening. Don't forget to come back next week for our review of The Last of Us Episode 2. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please leave us a rating or a review even. The more 5-star reviews we get, the higher we get up the charts, and the more people will get to find the show. And Andy, do you want to do the socially bit?
Yeah, so don't forget. I got so lost. Yeah. I got so lost then. Don't forget to follow us on socials too. No, I just got lost. Don't forget to follow us on socials too at Heroes and Hype for all the latest updates on the show and calls to action for next week's Pod Fans Assemble.
Exactly. Other than that, though, we are done. That is I
think I'm past done.
I'm well past done. It's literally just hit 2 hours.
Has it?
We do not. Yeah.
Jesus.
We've not done a 2-hour
episode. No, not in a long time.
Years?
Yeah.
We got it down to like a good, nice, swift 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's only one thing. We're gonna have to think though, because I thought this is a good tester for: are we doing Thunderbolt and Last of Us separate, or are we going to do Thunderbolt?
Yeah, I think we have to do a separate.
I think we need to do a separate episode. I was like, we'll cram them into one.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely not.
No, we need to. We'll break them down separately. We'll let you know when those are coming out. Other than that, Brian Badundi. Other than that, though, guys.
Hey guys, you want to do a podcast?
Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.